but that's what I just wanted to say.
All right, thanks, Mary. And here's Donald Trump warning his supporters, don't mess with minorities.
I'm very surprised to hear that.
Muslims.
I hate to hear that. I mean, I hate
but
to hear
you do
that.
hear it.
I don't hear it. I saw one or two instances.
On social
well, I think
media?
it's a very small amount. Again, I think it's the media.
Do you want to say anything to those people?
I would say don't do it. That's terrible. Because I'm going to bring this country together.
They're harassing Latinos, Muslims.
I am so saddened to hear that. And I say stop it. If it helps. I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera. Stop it.
Steve Bannon, though. Okay.
Stop it.
Yeah. I mean, he's both ways. He's incendiary and he's pacifying. He's the alpha and omega of existence.
Let's go to Zach, who joins us from Westmont. Good morning, Zach.
Good morning. All I got to say is, as far as these extreme left wings that are out here protesting, burning buildings, if you look at the other side, if Hillary would have won, I can't tell you that I would have gone to that extreme, but I would have definitely been scared of my pants for my kids and my future.
Well, if Hillary would have won, there wouldn't have been any protest.
And I tell my friends that all the time.
Nobody would have protested.
Nobody expected Donald Trump to win. That's why they're protesting. And we don't even know if half of those protesters even went out to vote. You know, and now they're so angry. And half of them were Bernie Sanders supporters. So what do you think? I mean, you have undecided voters out there, and they see this movement for Bernie Sanders. And when it comes down to Hillary and Trump, and they pick Trump, well, they're part of the problem.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper, hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Looks like it's going to be a gorgeous day and a gorgeous week.
Oh, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy today, a high of 60. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 40. Intervals of clouds and sunshine tomorrow, high of 58. Low tomorrow night of 40. Hours the check of traffic with Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Cliff. Welcome back. Inbound Eden's a little heavy. Peterson to Wilson. 20 minutes. Lake Hook to Montrose. Southbound 19 to Kennedy. 26 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 38 with additional delays on westbound 190 at O'Hare. The Eisenhower is 43 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. Outbound 38. And on the outbound side, there's a crash at Wolf Road blocking the right lane. Several cars involved. Stevenson now 47 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. Eastbound Adams Tollway, it's slow. Busing to the Des Plaines Oasis, then jam the Tri-State to the River Road Toll. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Many of you own or manage growing companies, and you know that your entire business depends on your phones. If your phone service provider struggles to deliver your calls, it can mean lost revenue. That's often the case with an outdated phone system. The solution? Well, it's a company that we use here at AM 560. Innovative Networks. They excel at providing innovative solutions to reinforce your company's phone infrastructure and enhance call flow. We truly appreciate how comprehensive, diligent, and cost-effective Innovative Networks was in providing solutions that scale as our business expands. Innovative Networks can even replace your outdated phone system at no cost and provide hands-on training to maximize your capabilities. You'll save money and be more focused on growing your business. Here at AM 560, we're thrilled with Innovative Networks, so follow our lead and call Innovative Networks at 312-453-7777. They're rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau. Call 312-453-7777 or visit go4inet.com. That's go, the number 4, I-N-E-T, phonehome.com.
A couple years ago, I had a severe accident which disabled my right hand and caused chronic pain and complete suffering. It took many years before really we figured out exactly what it was or how to treat it. My whole goal was I did not want to be on high levels of pain medicine. After some time, I went to see Dr. Kenneth Candido to try to figure out the source of the pain and a solution and how to solve it. He listens. I'm going to cry because it's so real. I've been through so much, and he wants to help his patients, and he's there for me whenever I need him.
This is Ken Candido of Chicago Anesthesia Pain Specialists. I have a simple message for you. If you or someone you love or someone you know has chronic pain, contact us. Treating chronic pain issues is what we do. We can make it better. Get an appointment and let's talk. MyPainChicago.com, MyPainChicago.com. All the info is available at MyPainChicago.com. Let's make you pain-free.
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, Call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-900-9385. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 350 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose, and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes, and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-900-9385. That's 1-800-900-9385. 1-800-900-9385.
AM 560, The Answer.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to Chicago's Morning Answer. Amy Jacobson here. Dan Proft is taking the day off and Bruce Wolf sitting in.
Good morning.
And thank you so much for coming to work.
I
That's kind of
one
an
day
inside
a year
joke,
I could do it.
Inside baseball.
Yeah, okay.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Let's go to Dan, who joins us from Palo Heights. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning. How you guys doing? Bruce,
Good.
Nice to hear your voice again.
Good to hear you.
And Amy, I hope your weekend was a good weekend. Hey, listen, guys.
Thanks.
This is Trump. He needs to shake things up. This is what you do. No matter who he chooses, he's going to get a hard time. No matter what he does, the man's going to get a hard time. If you want to shake things up, you have to make changes, big changes, and that's what he's doing. That's all. That's it.
All right, but he didn't have to hire Bannon.
Bannon's a little provocative.
I mean, there's plenty of conservatives that he could hire. Plenty.
But isn't that the establishment he's going against? We're trying to make changes too. He needs to bring in his own people.
Hey, you may as well hire Bernie Sanders for his fair trade policy.
You know what?
Okay.
He might. But thanks so much
Thank
for the
you,
phone
Dan.
call, Dan. But I mean, he said he was going to drain the swamp, so hiring Bannon is just that. And one person
Is that what he told Billy Bush, too?
Oh.
I drained the swamp.
Will you stop it? One longtime friend of Bannon, actually his ex-business partner, Steve Vorse, said that he draws a distinction between what he describes as Bannon's inclusive personal views and Breitbart's provocative ones. So this, conspiracy theories that they have in Breitbart News, that's just a way to attract an audience.
Well, so this is like Hillary when she tells the Wall Street people that she talks to one thing and then she tells the public another thing.
Everybody, whether you're Republican or Democrat, everybody's talking out of both sides of their mouth.
And in other orifices.
Thank you. SNL, we talked about that briefly, about the Open, that NSL is skewed comedy for something entirely different, and it's cold open on Saturday night. I'll get your reaction after we hear it again. Please listen.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. I'm not giving up, and neither should you.
I think she broke
And
glass.
live from New York, it's Saturday night.
I think she broke glass, not the glass ceiling with that. Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon, who's been portraying Hillary Clinton, she was still portraying the character of Hillary Clinton.
Kind of, sort
in the pantsuit, had tears in her eyes.
Had the hair done like Hillary.
Yeah, no. That was Hillary Clinton. And
Right,
she was grieving that she's not the president.
Connect with Dan and Amy on the AM 560 The Answer mobile app. Just text the word app to 64636 to download the app today.
Hi, I'm Joel Weinberger, owner of Continental Audi of Naperville. An exceptional purchase experience is only the beginning at Continental Audi. Your ownership journey continues with VIP loyalty rewards, concierge service, and complimentary washes, just to name a few. Every day, we provide more than just a great deal on every new Audi. Going on now, during the Season of Audi sales event, we will make your first payment, plus you may qualify for $500 to $5,000 in bonus cash. Continental Audi has over 200 new Audi vehicles to choose from, including the Audi A3, A4, A5, and A6 sedans, and the Audi Q3, Q5, and Q7 sport utilities. Audi is one of the best performance vehicles on the road. Drive an Audi and feel the difference of Quattro all-wheel drive. Drive a Continental Audi and you'll experience the difference a dealership can make. Come in today during the Season of Audi sales event and Continental will make your first payment. Continental Audi of Naperville at continentalaudi.com. Up to $1,500 on select models must qualify. See dealer for full details.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity. Good governance requires a framework rooted in first principles. President-elect Trump must set forth his. Chief among them should be to make the 10th Amendment great again, to both counter allegations of authoritarian impulses and unleash the populace's creative energies lying fallow. Trump should reestablish American federalism and devolve power away from the federal government. End the federal government's perverse inducements to the states to expand Medicaid under Obamacare. Block grant Department of Education funding to the states to be used specifically to fund scholarships that give poor kids a chance to go to better schools. Roll back the administrative state's duplicative agencies and redundant regulations. Decouple disaster preparedness funds from adherence to climate change junk science. Consolidate the Byzantine grants and aid mechanism, which provides myriad ways for the federal government to micromanage states and localities. I suspect the nation's 33 Republican governors, and perhaps even some of the Democrats, would welcome greater sovereignty over their affairs. If Trump governs as a neo-federalist, he will make America great again by, in the immortal words of Scott Baio, making America America again.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now. 1-800-900-5724. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-900-5724. That's 1-800-900-5724. 1-800-900-5724.
Hey, every guy dreads the honey-do list, so give yourself a weekend off and check out ChicagoRadioDeals.com for some home improvement help. How's the air quality in your home? Allergens could be affecting the air you breathe. Well, Royal Home Comfort Service is offering several deals at half off their normal price to improve the air quality in your home. Purchase a full home air duct cleaning for $195. Now, this deal includes all your ducts and an inspection of your furnace as well. That's good. They also have a deal to rid your home ductwork of all unwanted bacteria, including mold, and they do it by using a natural cleansing agent to keep your family safe and healthy. But wait, there's more. Royal Home Comfort also has a deal to clean and inspect your home dryer vent for only $55. Excuse me, $45. If you want to tackle a project yourself, go shop at a great local hardware store with personal customer service. Purchase the Addison Building Materials $100 gift certificate for only $50. Addison Building Materials is a true value retailer. For more home improvement deals, just visit ChicagoRadioDeals.com. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, Donald Trump's first big move as president-elect. We'll get the latest from Lynn Sweet. And then?
Who tried to kill Megyn Kelly?
But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning to our very pleasant, very well-educated Mike Scott.
41 degrees outside. President-elect Trump has made his first two key personnel appointments. GOP Chief Reince Priebus will serve as Trump's White House Chief of Staff, and Breitbart News executive, the former executive, Stephen Bannon, has been named Chief Strategist and Senior Counselor. President-elect Donald Trump has a message for any supporters engaging in acts of racial discrimination or intimidation.
I am so saddened to hear that, and I say stop it if it helps. I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera, stop it.
In an interview on CBS, Trump looked into the camera to give that warning to supporters. This morning in New Zealand, devastation. Planning to send in military helicopters and Navy ships to rescue tourists and residents stranded in the coastal town of Kaikoura after a powerful earthquake cut off all train and vehicle access.
Started falling down. So we tried to get to a doorway, and it was so violent then that I fell down. My partner got slightly injured, and it was just incredibly violent.
The magnitude 7.8 quake struck the South Island after midnight, leaving 2 dead and triggering tsunamis. Among some 1,000 tourists and hundreds of residents will need rescuing. The Democratic Party is beginning the formidable task of retooling after the Donald Trump era has begun. One of the first orders of business is finding someone to back. Among the prominent possibilities is Minnesota Representative Keith Ellison, former Vermont Governor Howard Dean, and former Maryland Governor Martin O'Malley as head of the DNC. Leon Russell, who performed, sang, and produced some of rock and roll's top records, is dead at the age of 74. Russell's wife says her husband died in his sleep. He had heart bypass surgery in July. Russell recording hit songs like Tightrope and Lady Blue. Protests continue in downtown Chicago following Donald Trump's victory in last week's election. Charges are pending after a 2-year-old child was killed by a vehicle on Chicago's northwest side. And top Democratic leaders in the Illinois legislature say they will not attend a post-election meeting that Governor Bruce Rauner has called for today to discuss ending the 16-month-long budget standoff. Tampa Bay beat the Bears 36-10. Patrick Kane a winner in the second period. His tie-breaking goal gave the Blackhawks a 3-2 victory over Montreal. The news, a service of the 89-cent pancake deal at Burger King. How is this even possible? Right now at Burger King, you can get 3 pancakes for 89 cents. 3 hot, fluffy, golden pancakes for just 89 cents. Unbelievable, but true. 3 pancakes, 89 cents, only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary. 6:35 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Get ShopVac's most powerful feature-packed 14-gallon wet dry vac now at an amazing low price of only $149 for a limited time only, available only at Lowe's.
Are you a business owner or manager who wants your facility to be more locked down? Do you occasionally need to limit access to your building from certain employees at certain times? Turn to Access Master, a proud supporter of AM 560 and Feed the Children. Access Master makes managing access to your facility easy. Whether you need to control access at a single entrance or to all your doors, Access Master will work with you to develop a plan customized for your business security needs. Everyone in your organization can have their own unique access profile to allow them access at certain times of days at various entrances. You can even monitor when employees are on site and receive an email or text notification in real time if employees need to enter your facility after hours. Business owners and managers, make an appointment to review options for controlling access to your facility. Contact Access Master today to help control access to your facilities. Call 800-321-2850. That's 800-321-2850. Please mention this ad.
It is 6:36, and in our AM 560 traffic center this morning, here is Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On 294, the northbound tri-state, we're seeing delays from Southwest Highway to the 83rd Street Toll Plaza to Archer to LaGrange Road, and then from the Stevenson to the Hinsdale Oasis, and between the Reagan Tollway and Grand Avenue. Spot Adams Tollway slow Barrington Road to 53 and jam from the tri-state to Kennedy. And on the Kennedy, it's 33 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 51. Edens, 29 minutes, Lake Hook to the junction, outbound 20. The Eisenhower, 45 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, outbound the same. Stevenson, you can get 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 38. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Traffic is a service of Subway. Now a Subway, Monday is Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki Day. That's today's $3.50 6-inch sub of the day. Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki has no artificial flavors or colors from artificial sources. For just $3.50, it's a great sub for a great price. There's a different $3.50 6-inch sub every day only at Subway. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the AirComfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Sunny to partly cloudy, high near 60, partly cloudy and 40 overnight. 41 officially at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Empowered Investing, the show dedicated to investors. Heard Saturdays at noon right here on AM 560, The Answer.
I'm up on the tight wire,
That Leanne
Who
Russell?
sings the song?
Leanne Russell.
Leanne Russell, yeah.
By the way, Kate McKinnon next week is going to be dressed up like Leanne Russell for the cold open on Saturday Night Live.
Stop it.
Oh, yeah. And it's not going to be funny or anything like that.
Oh, no, it
She
won't
does
be.
the greatest Leanne Russell.
I'm sure
Oh, no,
she
she's going to be
does.
dressed up like Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Oh, yeah.
And she's going to Ginsburg us.
Yeah, Ginsburg's not dying because she's going to survive through a Trump presidency. That's what you said. Hey, that voice belongs to Bruce Wolf.
No,
who's
it's Kate
filling in
McKinnon
today.
imitating me.
She
can do anything.
He's in today for one Dan Profton. I'm Amy Jacobson, and thanks for joining us this morning. A lot to plow through. I mean, big announcements overnight that Donald Trump made his first big move as president-elect, hiring a chief of staff, Reince Priebus. Thank you.
Ding, 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 ding.
Finally pronounced it correctly. But the more controversial is the chief strategist, which is Steve Bannon. And we've had a lot of phone calls today about Steve Bannon and that he's a little provocative, a little racist sometimes. What
and
else?
a lot
How else
rock
we
and
do-
roll. Yeah, he's a little bit racist.
But to more on that, let's go to Lynn Sweet. She is a columnist and Washington bureau chief at the Chicago Sun-Times. And Lynn, I have seen you so many times on CNN in the past 2 weeks. Are you getting any time to sleep?
Oh, sure, of course. And good morning, Chicago.
Yeah, so tell us about this pick, because when the announcement was made, Steve Bannon, he was announced first, then Reince Priebus.
Well, it came out on the same press release, but what's interesting is that Trump said in the release that they're going to be equal partners, and that puts Bannon in a very influential spot in the White House. Frankly, in a White House, you really don't need a title sometimes to be influential anyway. So the point here is that Stephen Bannon is associated with some of the worst kind of inflammatory race-based this alt-right movement that is part of the coverage that his Breitbart publication has been involved in giving these racist, inflammatory views. So,
well, such as what? Can you point to certain articles or certain works that he's
I don't have it
contributed
in
to?
front of me right now, but so one point is that has been oft repeated overnight is that his wife in divorce filings said that he said, which he denied, he didn't want his kids to go to school with Jews.
Whiny Jews. Whiny Jews.
Well, I'm just quoting one thing. But here's the thing: if you want to know this, so I'll take a moment and Google, because you may be in front of a computer and find the stories, and then we could have them. So there are. But here's the thing to think about. In his first act, Trump put in place at a very high level somebody who's considered controversial. He also put in place somebody who's considered an ultimate Washington insider. So this is
So he's trying to
very
speak out of both
interesting
sides of his mouth.
And you know what? Valerie Jarrett's going to wind up running the whole show. Here, Lynn, I hate to agree with you. I mean, what's the point?
What's wrong with agreeing with Lynn?
What's
Are
the
you
point of
trying to be provocative?
I'd like to
too?
be contentious with Lynn Sweet, the great Sun-Times columnist. My first chance to talk to you since the election, Lynn. Ha ha, Hillary lost.
Oh.
What? Are you there, Lynn? Where? What?
I'm here. I'm listening for the question.
Yeah, what's
that was the question.
No,
there was a
not
question mark
That
after
was a
ha ha.
statement.
Come on, Lynn. You thought Hillary was going to win. You're part of the liberal media establishment, and you were shocked and dismayed, and you're actually in mourning, aren't you? Am I right?
Don't tell her how she feels.
Is this Bruce? I don't believe we have ever talked, so you would know anything about my personal views about anything, or what my emotional state is one way or the other. And I hope yours is okay this morning because you sound pretty chipper.
Well, I'm on the air with Amy Jacobson.
Oh,
okay.
please. All right. So,
Right.
Lynn,
Amy, maybe you have a question for me.
Yes,
that,
Lynn.
I could help our listeners understand what happened, the road ahead, what it means to Chicago.
Yes. Okay. How
Bruce
did Hillary?
Unless Bruce has snuck into my house and has been or has installed eavesdropping devices here, I don't think Bruce.
You're a
has
little
clue
paranoid,
what
I
my
think, Lynn.
feelings are.
Okay.
Okay, Lynn, I'm going to ask you a serious question.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Now, guys, here's the thing. I have come on to try to be helpful and respectful of all our listeners, that maybe I could bring some analysis and insight to what happened.
Lynn, I was kidding.
So,
I was
Bruce,
joking around.
I don't do kidding. No, we don't kid around.
Why not? Why can't we kid
We're talking
around?
about a serious topic
Oh,
about
Lynn, come on, Lynn.
be,
I'm sorry then. I apologize.
All right.
I apologize, Lynn.
I'm controlling
Let's
this
start
conversation.
over, okay?
Don't talk, Bruce. I love you, but please.
Zip it.
Zip it. All right, Lynn Sweet, how is it possible that Hillary Clinton lost this? Is it because of the email investigation, the FBI probe from James Comey, or was it the deplorable comments, or was it a combination of both?
Well, I think there's a combo. She has said that she laid it at the feet of FBI Director James Comey for stopping her momentum. Rudy Giuliani said it was the price hikes in Obamacare. I'm kind of leaning towards the combination. There's just too much that went wrong in too many places to give Trump the strong vote. We know in looking at election returns that rural America, ethnically white America, did not come out in the numbers that they did for President Barack Obama in 2008 and 2012, and that basically Democrats couldn't put together the Obama coalition to elect Hillary Clinton.
Did they wait too long, though? I mean, you had Beyonce, Jay-Z, everybody came out at the last minute, the last week. Shouldn't President Obama and Hillary Clinton, or not Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, have done more even months before the election?
I don't know. I don't know what more they could have done because the battle was for the undecideds. Mm-hmm. Now, when you think of it, given the contentious and wide publicity this race has, how could you really be undecided? You know, what fact did you want to know? Did you want somebody's view on affordable housing policy or stem cell research or mass transit funding or some social policy? So my guess is that the poll modeling was incorrect, and that the weight of the undecideds was maybe not calculated right, or the ethnicity or the age or the college education was not factored in right. So let's not excuse that maybe the electorate just wasn't analyzed correctly either. So that was part of the reason everybody was shocked at the outcome.
We're talking with Lynn Sweet, columnist and Washington bureau chief at the Chicago Sun-Times. And Lynn, actually, Obama's never had coattails. I mean, he's good for himself, but he's never really been good for anybody else. I take a little different view. You may be right about this, about the analytics of the polls, or, that the polls were wrong. They didn't really represent people right. But there's this guy from National Review named Henry Olsen. Before the election, he was saying he thought Hillary was going to win, but there was a good chance Trump was going to win because there was such a huge number of undecideds and the third-party candidates were getting votes. And a lot of people, right before they go into the election, into the polls, they switch from the third-party candidates. So that might help explain some of that last-minute shift. But, it's no crime to be shocked by this, because I was seeing tweets on the day of the election, like when the Florida vote was coming in, that there were the internal metrics in the Trump campaign. In the Trump campaign, we're saying it was going to take a miracle for them to win that day. So they were shocked that they won.
Well, I think we could all agree. We were all shocked that Donald Trump won.
There you go.
Hey, how long do you think these protests are going to last? I'm comparing these anti-Trump protesters to Occupy Wall Street, because it's been 6 nights in a row. Do you see any end in sight?
No, especially since you have some focal points coming up. There are 2 reasons why I think they will go on. One is that you have such obvious symbols to rally around in each city. Trump Tower in Chicago. Mm-hmm. You kind of know where to go, and what if you're a protester, the Trump properties in each place are kind of a natural gathering place. Also, you have an inauguration coming up. So I only think that I'm guessing there will be sustained efforts, maybe not in all the same cities at all the same times, but you have a controversial appointment like Steve Bannon, and that is not going to send the signal that Trump wants to reach out strongly to the people who are disappointed in the outcome. Now, I know he said on the 60-minute interview to stop it, but I don't think that's enough now. We have not heard from Trump himself on his own give out any conciliatory remarks that might speak to the people who are disappointed.
Well, it sounds like he didn't even know about it, and Leslie Stahl had to tell
Wait a
him
minute,
what was
Lynn-
going on outside his front step.
Lynn, has Hillary come out and told the people that are rioting in Portland or wherever to stop it? Has she told people to stop doing that? Has Hillary done that?
No,
I'm not doing your comparative here, Bruce. One person won the presidency. One person is there, and
What about Hillary Clinton? She was the candidate. She's still the putative leader of the Democratic Party.
Have you done the research to answer that? I'm not her spokesman right now, okay? I am not. There is a possibility that I don't know the answer.
Okay.
I'm happy to say I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, no, she hasn't come out.
Before you ask a question like that you could have researched, Bruce, do you know the answer?
Well, you seem to know the answer about what Trump people are doing. I assume that you study people. It's fine.
When I have some information.
Lynn, it's fine that you don't know. I say I don't know all the time. So it's okay.
Okay, and that's what I said.
All right.
But Bruce, I don't want to be, I'm coming on to try to be helpful, not to be inflammatory. I think we're in a time where we should just try to keep the tone more civilized.
You're right.
You don't have to.
Amen,
don't
sister.
have to do what you're doing, Bruce.
Yes, Bruce. Stop
I'm a
it.
rabble rouser. You don't know the
kind of
pressure
annoying,
I'm
actually.
under. Lynn, I'm under the pressure. I'm not the Washington bureau chief for the Sun Times. I'm a once-a-year guy who's just trying to make some noise here, okay?
All right.
Well, am I trying to do something that might be useful?
Yes,
that
you
have
are.
protesting
You are.
in Chicago and other cities. I'm speaking to an audience that I'm trying to be respectful of and maybe convey some information. People
And I
are
appreciate it.
happy and sad about the outcome of the election.
It's
Okay,
unlike
so
anything
let's
we've
just be
ever seen before,
respectful
though.
of that.
Okay. All right.
Pardon?
It's unlike anything we've ever seen before.
Absolutely. So a point I would like to make is that later today there's going to be a press conference with President Obama. Where I imagine he'll get a lot of questions about his proceeding in the transition. And I think that is going to be a major signal to address Bruce's point about how this nation can move forward because President Obama, President-elect Trump are going to work together.
Yep. All right.
He's been totally gracious. The president.
That meeting was
I bet you'll hear more of that today.
Yep,
Yeah.
that meeting was supposed to be 15 minutes long, and it ended up being
Lasted 90 minutes. They didn't take a picture with the Trumps, but you know what? Trump doesn't even know that he has to hire a whole West Wing staff. Obama's going to have to help him do that.
Well,
Yeah.
that was a little shocking that he and one of his other top aides didn't quite understand that everybody leaves on January 20th. The groundskeepers, so by the way, in case people are interested, they are permanent because they are provided by the National Park Service.
Ah, okay.
And the staff itself that runs the White House, keeps the furnace on, the lights on it. That
The
staff
butler, right.
is permanent until a president picks them. Otherwise, everybody's resignation is effective January 20th.
All right. Thanks so much,
Thank
Lynn
you,
Sleep,
Lynn.
for joining us.
And I'm sorry. I'm contentious.
Just apologize on Twitter.
Okay.
Thank you. And she joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Don't be contentious about giving us the weather forecast, Bruce.
If I could be contentious about the weather, I would do it. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I'm going to give a 5-day. I'm just going to give a 2-day. All right? That's just how I am. That's how I roll.
Or just
Today it's going
today.
It's going to be sunny to partly cloudy, a high of 60. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40. Tomorrow, intervals of cloud and sunshine, a high of 58. Low tomorrow night of 40. And now for a check of traffic, and I say, don't give all the expressways, Jeff Telemante. Just the ones that I want, like the Tri-State and the Edens. That's all I want.
All right, Bruce, for you, we start with the Edens. Delay start at Dempster, 30 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose. Outbound 21, the Kennedy, 47 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 58, the Ike, 58 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. Outbound, there's a crash at Wolf Road, several cars involved. We're looking at about an hour downtown to Thorndale. Stevenson, it is 51 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42, and the Ryan, 28 minutes, 95th to downtown. Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
I'm Lou Dobbs. Donald Trump poised to reverse Obama environmental initiatives and to rebuild the nation's infrastructure. A number of economic reports due out this week. Those stories and more next.
Bill Bennett here to tell you about Augusta Precious Metals. Attention investors, your IRA or your 401k may be at risk again. The 2008 crash wiped out up to 50% of IRAs and 401ks. Can you afford to lose again? What if you could store IRA or 401k savings where you can see, touch, and hold it in your hands? With the Augusta Gold or Silver IRA, you transfer a portion of retirement savings into physical coins you can actually see and get fast in case of any disaster. Call Augusta Precious Metals today for a free gold and silver IRA guide. No obligation. Augusta Precious Metals, A-plus Better Business Bureau rating, 98% 5-star customer satisfaction rating with TrustLink.org. Trust Augusta. Call Augusta Precious Metals today at 1-855-222-6993. That's 1-855-222-6993. One more time, 1-855-222-6993.
Investors will have a lot of economic news to digest this week. We'll have the latest reading on retail sales and import and export prices, as well as the Producer Price Index, industrial production data, and the Consumer Price Index. Donald Trump's election could signal the end of many of President Obama's environmental initiatives. Trump loathes excessive regulation, which he says are job killers. Trump also wants to use more coal and would like to expand offshore drilling and fracking. The president-elect also vowing to spend nearly $1 trillion to rebuild the nation's roads, bridges, airports, and railways. He says rebuilding infrastructure will put millions of our people to work. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 and 11 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Get out of town with Apple Vacations. From adults-only hotels to family-friendly resorts, the vacation choices are endless with Iberostar Hotels and Resorts. Book your getaway during the Apple Vacations Super Sale and save on holiday and January travel. For an unforgettable vacation, go with Iberostar Hotels and Resorts. 4 nights in Riviera Maya and Iberostar Paraíso del Mar start from only $7.99. Or make it 3 nights at the adults-only Iberostar Grand Hotel Paraíso starting from just $11.99. Both trips include round-trip nonstop air, resort transfers, all meals, drinks, and taxes. Call Carey Travel Express at 847-639-3300. That's Carey Travel Express, 847-639-3300. Or visit CareyTravelExpress.com. Hurry, best dates and hotels are going fast. Prices per person based on double occupancy for select departures starting January 8th, including air on Frontier from O'Hare and taxes and fees, including September 11th security fee. See AppleVacations.com for baggage charges. Prices subject to availability and change restrictions apply.
AM 560, The Answer.
So here's a real whodunit. Megyn Kelly claims that a driver of hers tried to poison her coffee. No, so right before that first debate, where she made news confronting Donald Trump, she wrote in her book, Settle for More, which is coming out next week, that on the morning of the debate, this enthusiastic driver picked her up and said, here, have some coffee, And she declined a few times, and then she said, all right, fine, I'll have coffee. She drank it, and within 15 minutes, she was vomiting so uncontrollably that she didn't think she'd be able to go on air. And during that debate, she had a trash pail underneath the desk in case she kept throwing up. So she keeps deciding whether or not this limo driver tried to poison her.
I believe it. But let me ask you something about Megyn Kelly, okay? Very quickly. Because she was once your intern.
Yeah.
Years ago at Channel 5, right? Here's what I think. I believe she was harassed by Roger Ailes. So she deserves $5 million for being harassed by Ailes. But that should be deducted from the $20 million she owes Ailes because he made her, it was the conservative shtick. I mean, if not for Roger Ailes, she's winding up, she's talking about like rats eating your car engines on the NBC 5 News. I mean, that's what she's doing. And she doesn't have a career. He made her career. Ugh. So you deduct the $5 million he owes her from the $20 million she owes him. $15 million.
Foul play.
Am I right?
Foul play. That's what she's going to do. She's not filing any charges, but you decide if she was trying to be killed.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Did you know that if you have mutual funds in your IRA, 401k, or investment accounts, that according to Forbes magazine, you could be paying as much as 3.17% in hidden fees every single year? 3.17% may not sound like much, but over 10 years, it's costing you 32%, whether your fund is up or down. Hi, it's Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group in Chicago and host of the Alpha Wealth Hour on AM 560. This is just one of the reasons I hate mutual funds, and you should too. You may not know this, but you have far more investment options today without the excessive fees. Learn what they are in my free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds. What you learn may shock you. To get your free report, The Truth Behind Mutual Funds, call 630-519-4742. There's no obligation. That's 630-519-4742.
Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies.
I had gout in both my knees, and it's gone.
Well, I'm pretty stupid. I should have ordered it 15 years ago. Best thing I ever got in my. It's the most effective product that I've ever bought in my life.
He had eczema on his hand, and it cracked for years. He did anything from doctor, every cream, everything. And 3 months on the veggies and fruit, it was gone.
They're just awesome. They keep asking me, what am I doing? I told them what I did with my cholesterol. I had the blood test, right? And it went down 100 points. 262, now it's 162. Everything is just perfect.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Call now, 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
And coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, why Donald Trump won't hire a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton.
And Whoopi Goldberg is not leaving the country. Oh, no. I thought Paula Ferris would get more days on The View.
We'll have your list of Hollywood celebrities that are not leaving after all. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, Chicago Police Department and federal investigators have launched a violence crackdown over the weekend. A 2-year-old killed by a vehicle in Chicago. That death investigation continues. And in Chicago sports, the Bucks routed the Bears. WIND Chicago News Times, 7 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Don't be afraid. That's what Donald Trump is telling all those protesters who've been out in the streets nationwide since he won the election.
We are going to bring our country back.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, the president-elect had a message for supporters who are reportedly harassing minorities.
Stop it. If it helps. I will say this, and I'll say it right to the camera, stop it.
The wide-ranging 60 Minutes interview also covered Mr. Trump's campaign promises. On Obamacare, the president-elect said he'd like to keep provisions on pre-existing conditions and parents keeping young adults insured. On the wall, Mr. Trump says he's open to having fencing in some places along the Mexican border. The president-elect also said he would not appoint Supreme Court justices who would reverse same-sex marriage, saying it's already settled law. Dave.
And Rachel, President-elect Trump says he won't accept the salary, taking just $1 a year instead. The president-elect has picked his White House chief of staff, the head of the Republican National Committee, Reince Priebus, who says he's honored.
I want to do him proud, but most importantly, he wants to do the American people proud. He wants to do the things that he said.
Steve Bannon's been named chief strategist. He's a former Breitbart News executive who was a Trump campaign CEO. New Zealand's military will help rescue residents and tourists from a coastal town struck by a powerful earthquake, the magnitude 7.8 that also hit Wellington.
Things started falling down. So we tried to get to a doorway, and it was so violent then that I fell down.
They're assessing the damage there. At least 2 people were killed. A sheriff's deputy shot and killed in Stanislaus County, California. The accused gunman was later caught attempting to snatch a purse after a carjacking. They're searching for whoever's opened fire in a parking lot last night in Jacksonville, Florida. A shooting that left 2 women and a baby dead and 2 others injured.
This may be a dispute stemming from a disagreement between some females.
That's Rod Lenve with the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
Skies in Chicago are partly cloudy. 42 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Charges are pending after a 2-year-old child was struck and killed by a vehicle on Chicago's northwest side. It happened yesterday in the 4700 block of North Central Avenue, where local residents say they have been asking for a stop sign at that intersection for years. The younger victim died at the scene. A woman hospitalized as well with non-life-threatening injuries. Chicago police tell us the driver of that car was taken into custody. Protests did continue in downtown Chicago following Donald Trump's victory in last week's election. About 100 people marched last night from Millennium Park to Trump Tower. Chicago police want to crack down on violence in the city. Police Superintendent Eddie Johnson announcing the department spent the weekend teaming up with federal officials and other local authorities to increase patrols across the south and west sides.
All of this is in an effort to let people know that we just simply won't tolerate the violence that's going on in our city right now.
The operation began Friday evening and continued through early this morning. Officials expect to release some results of their efforts later today. U.S. prisons are experimenting with a high-price monthly injection. It could help addicted inmates stay off opioids after they're released. It's called Vivitrol, and proponents say it could be effective in the fight against the opioid epidemic impacting 2 million Americans, and with a good chunk of the prison population impacted as well. Vivitrol is not habit-forming like older drugs like methadone, which can be abused. Supporters say Vivitrol can save money by keeping people from returning to prison. So, one of the places that it will be used, Illinois Sheridan Correctional Center, which is starting a Vivitrol program at $25,000 a year, housing an inmate in the Vivitrol program. Tampa Bay beat the Bears 36-10. Jay Cutler, 2 INTs and 2 fumbles lost. Patrick Kane, the tie-breaking goal, and the Blackhawks winners over Montreal 3-2. College hoops, Loyola, Western Illinois, and the Fighting Illini all with wins. The news, a service of Staples with low prices on technology for your business. And right now, buy any PC at Staples and get free tech support for 30 days. They'll help you set up your new PC so you don't lose critical files, and will help you connect to your network and your printer. Staples, make more happen. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Mortgage rates have dropped again. In fact, recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. Now is the time for you to take advantage of these historically low rates and save serious money every month by refinancing your mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how far we can lower your mortgage payment. For 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the 3rd year, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. This ultra-low rate of 3.5% won't last long. So call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Have you put off seeing the dentist because you can't afford to go? Are big dental bills taking a big toll on your wallet? Would you like to have dental insurance but think it's too expensive? If you answered yes to any of these questions, call Physicians Mutual Insurance Company for a free information kit. See how you can help protect your teeth and your wallet for less than $1 a day. 1-800-900-9385. This is real dental insurance that can help cover over 350 procedures, all the ones you're most likely to need. Everything from cleanings and fillings to crowns and dentures. Your acceptance is guaranteed for one of these insurance policies, even if you're retired or on Medicare. You can see any dentist you choose, and you'll never pay a deductible. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll rush you a free information kit with all the details. 1-800-900-9385. That's 1-800-900-9385. 1-800-900-9385.
7:06 and an update on the roads with AM 560's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the Eisenhower outbound, traffic is really jammed from Independence out to the Reagan Tollway with a crash between Wolf and 88, now on the right shoulder. But it's an hour and 11 minutes to get from downtown to Thorndale, 57 minutes to Manheim. Inbound, 52 minutes, Thorndale to the post office, and 35 from Manheim. Eden's 27 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 24. The Kennedy, 46 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound an hour and 5 minutes. It's 30 minutes to get to Montrose. Stevenson, 53 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 44. Ryan, 29 minutes, 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go from the Stevenson to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to the Grand Avenue curve. Northbound Veterans Memorial, slow Boughton to the Reagan Tollway and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Northwest Indiana's fine. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
It will be sunny to partly cloudy throughout the day today with a high 60 and remaining partly cloudy through the night tonight with patchy fog developing after midnight. A low tonight around 40. For tomorrow, clouds and sun throughout the day, high 58. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare, 43 along Chicago's lakefront. Your next news update, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next with Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan Proft this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
Listen to AM 560 on your mobile device. Now available on iHeartRadio. Online at iHeartRadio.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Monday morning. Amy Jacobson here.
Morning.
And in for Dan Proft is the one and only Bruce
Piranha Man.
Wolf.
Oh,
Hey, you're
Bruce
doing
Wolf.
your dance. Are you warming it
Yes,
up?
sure.
Is this
Are you
your
ready to
form
do
of
the workout? Jane Fonda?
Yeah.
I loved when she used to do the workout.
Why?
Because
Because you liked her leg warmers?
Well, I loved her in Barbarella, even when she was a little, more softish.
She's a liberal. We don't talk about Jane Fonda on this station.
But then I found out she had work done. So it wasn't all the
What is the
workout.
big deal with this work being done? Women get augmented. Men get Botox. What's the big deal? And if you do, you should go to Dr. Will and Dr. Burt in Hinsdale and Plainfield. No, really, these are two
I love
women.
the product placement that you do.
But
It's
these
good.
are two women. They're sisters, and they are just accomplished surgeons. They come from a whole line of surgeons, and I love them, those ladies. Oh, yeah. Physically.
You're listening to 87.7 music from November of 67 to January of 68. Yeah.
Thank you. Richard Simmons coming up at the bottom of the hour with his tight shorts. Seriously, though, it's a big weekend. A lot of news going on. We have a lot of protests taking place. They didn't stop 6 days straight. You know the tune. 71 arrested. 71 people arrested in Portland, Oregon. Somebody shot there during one of the protests on Friday night. And they're taking place all over the country. And I don't think they're going to stop until the inauguration, when there's going to be a huge protest in Washington, D.C. One of my friends, or former friends, who has uninvited me to my birthday party.
Really?
Yeah.
How old are you now?
We're not getting along well. It was a horrible weekend. I wish I could have a redo. But she said
How old
that...
are you?
I'm not answering that question.
Okay.
But I'll tell you how much I weigh later. She said, I'm marching on 121 in D.C. And as he flip-flops, he will have to contend with those that believed him on his phenomenal BS. They're going to kill him.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah. She needs to watch the rhetoric. She needs
does,
to calm down. Everybody needs to slow their roll. Everybody's walking around Chicago with fists and their mouths clenched like they want to kill. Even at church, when I thought that we were going to talk about praying for Donald Trump moving forward, it wasn't about forgiveness or acceptance. It was about revenge and what we're going to do now. Instead of praying for not only and respecting the office of the presidency as well as the person. I mean, they are so horrified. People were crying. 9 people were openly crying.
In
Others
church?
were dabbing their eyes. Yeah.
Is this the slap the other cheek
I thought somebody
sermon?
died. I honestly, I went up to my friend Bill. I said, did the pastor's wife, because there's a retired pastor there, and he was crying. I thought that she passed away. And he said, no. She was just so depressed by what happened that she can't even get out of bed to come to church. And I just wanted to collectively say, everybody get a grip, because a lot of them are single issue voters. And they're afraid that same-sex marriage is going to be abolished.
Trump yesterday said to Leslie Stahl, he said, it's already settled. There's nothing we have. Don't worry about it. Even though I'm not making any sense because I'm going to nominate somebody to the Supreme Court who's going to overturn Roe, which is already settled.
Well, let's hear from Donald Trump.
One of the groups that's expressing fear is the LGBTQ group.
Yet I mentioned them at the Republican National Convention. And everybody said that was so great. I have been I've been a supporter.
Well, I guess the issue for them is marriage equality. Do you support marriage equality?
It's irrelevant because it was already settled. It's law. It was settled in the Supreme Court. I mean, it's done.
So even if you appoint a judge that...
It's done. You have... these cases have gone to the Supreme Court. They've been settled. And I think I'm fine with that.
Okay, compare that to a question about Roe versus Wade and reversing it possibly.
During the campaign, you said that you would appoint justices who were against abortion rights. Are you looking to appoint a justice who wants to overturn Roe v. Wade?
So look, here's what's going to happen. I'm pro-life. The judges will be pro-life. They'll be...
But what about overturning
there are a couple of things. They'll be pro-life. They'll be, in terms of the whole gun situation, we know the Second Amendment, and everybody's talking about the Second Amendment, and they're trying to dice it up and change it. They're going to be very pro-Second Amendment. But having to do with abortion, if it ever were overturned, it would go back to the states. So it would go back to the states.
Some women won't be able to get an abortion.
No, it'll go back to the states.
By state? No, some...
Yeah. Well, they'll perhaps have to go to another state.
And that's okay.
Well, we'll see what happens. It's got a long way to go, just so you understand. That has a long, long way to go.
Amy, I got a question.
Wow.
I'd like a Venn diagram, of a justice who is willing to overturn Roe versus Wade, but is not going to overturn the same-sex case. I don't think such a person exists.
That person is Donald Trump. But I will tell you, on Roe versus Wade, who is his number one ally? Who does he love the most in this entire world? And that's Ivanka. And Ivanka Trump is pro-choice. Ivanka Trump is a Democrat. Ivanka Trump will talk her father out of it. Trust me. There's one thing I know. That relationship, I'm telling you.
I agree. You can forget Reince Priebus. Forget Steve Bannon.
Oh,
Ivanka is running the White House. There's your president of the United States.
And she
the
will.
De facto first female president of the United States, Ivanka Trump.
No. You want to book this? If Donald Trump does well as president, Ivanka Trump will be our first female president.
Well, there's
Got
gonna
that right? You want to book that?
So after the Bush dynasty, the Clinton dynasty,
we're going to
have
the Trump.
Ivanka. By the way, Melania, if I may say.
It's Melania, yes.
Whatever. Melania, you say potato. Can't spell it. I'm like Dan Quayle. The Melania is the most beautiful first lady we have had since Frances Folsom.
Augmented.
Grover Cleveland.
Augmented.
Seriously?
No, she's
She had
gorgeous.
work done?
Oh, my God.
You can tell.
Will you get your head out of the sand? Speaking of Melania, let's just play this. Is she prepared for the scrutiny?
You met with Michelle Obama yesterday. Was there any awkwardness given what everybody was saying about everybody in the campaign?
No, I didn't feel it.
Not at all?
No.
Wow. Tell us about the meeting.
Yes, she was a gracious host. We had a great time, and we talked about raising children in the White House. She was very warm and very nice.
Okay, that was her meeting with Michelle, but this is about...
that's Charo. That's not Melania.
Are you prepared, both of you, for the lack of privacy and the intense scrutiny? And first ladies are really criticized if one little hair's out of place. Are you both prepared for this?
We are used to it, yes.
I will say it is on a different scale, though, because I've had a lot, but I've never had anything like this.
You won't be able to walk down the street?
I didn't do that for 2 years already, so, it will just continue. It's another level, but it will continue.
I mean, she does speak 5 languages. Hello, so I know her.
One of them is not English, though.
No, her English is not. It's fine. She's fine. She just has
4 of the languages are Transylvanian.
She speaks German and French and Italian and English.
Écoutez et répétez.
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.
Does she speak Pig Latin?
Oh, my gosh. Let's go to Sean. Let's get this out of the way. Sean from Elmwood Park. Hello, Sean.
Well. Good morning. And by the way, I always love the look on the face of these Iron Curtain women. They always look like they got $20 in their shoe and you're trying to take it from them, and they're not giving you anything. I love
tough,
that about
man.
her. Her face didn't move the entire interview. It was beautiful, baby. And I will tell you, nobody puts Bruce Wolf in the corner.
Nobody.
As I was getting ready, and I heard that fungible Huffington Post Viagra slayer But what's her name, Bruce, the one who told you, what are you doing? You're asking questions. That's called an interview.
Ain't she sweet? Lynn
and
Sweet.
You're on there because you represent women. Hear you roar. Please vote for what's in my dress, not in my head. And that's what we're voting against. And she gets up there, and how dare you ask me a question about the protesters? Because what she doesn't want to tell you is that talking point protesters are the wind beneath the Marxist wings. That's who they love.
Hey, Sean, do you want to talk about Fabian socialism?
Sean, I got one question. You know, Sean, because I tweeted it to you over the weekend. We've got an everything must go clearance sale on the use of the term Duchess of Chafington. I mean, this may be your last time that you can actually use this on the air.
Listen,
I'm just telling you.
It's that like their ideology is just, you can pick it up and snap it in place. Because to me, all of these Democrat hack women look like Karl Rove with a wig on. There's very little difference between them. So we take it from one and we'll put it on whoever's going to happen. Except I really think whoever's going to come up in 4 years will be 3 times as dangerous. Because Hillary Clinton, and I said it on these airwaves, the most unlikable woman in the country, the entire country, completely understood why Bill Clinton was chasing everything that moved. Because just one, are you kidding me? Can you imagine the disappointment? You heard her when she's supposed to be cheery. Did you listen to the voice over the last year? It was absolute torture. Now roll over at 3 in the morning and see her drooling on a pillow. And you're telling me you're not going to be looking for massage parlors?
Sean, it's like Alice Roosevelt Longworth said about FDR. You know, could you blame him? After all, he was married to Eleanor. Okay, so there you go. You can't blame Bill. Am I right?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. Maybe she was having an affair too, okay? Maybe that was just an arranged marriage, okay, between Bill and
They
him.
didn't live together for the last 15 years.
Well, he's been with her since she lost the election. He's been with her in Chappaqua, New York. They've been going on walks together with their dogs. Let's go to Rick, who joins us from Downers Grove. Good morning, Rick.
Hey, how you guys doing?
Good.
Good.
The one thing I noticed about this election, 2 things, is that you can have a college degree and still be a moron, because those are the people that I think voted for Hillary Clinton because she is a dirtbag. And that when you start talking about enforcing the existing laws, Democrats, liberals, they don't like that kind of talk at all. Laws to them is something for somebody else. And those are the 2 things I picked up on this election.
All right. Thanks, Rick. And let's quickly squeeze in Pauline, who joins us from Vance, Alabama. Pauline. You say Pauline.
There's like Paulina, Melvina.
Okay, I know. I got that. Hey. It's a street. Hey, Pauline, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
What I wanted to say was that I am a college graduate. I am a white American woman. I did not vote for Hillary Clinton. I voted for someone that loves America, someone that wants to make it great again. I support him wholly. I was not represented for 8 years by a black, angry president. I went to work every day. I did not burn anything. I did not tear down. I wasn't bussed over to another city to create havoc. I went to work every day. I did not complain. I certainly didn't support him. But the thing about it is we're Americans. It's time to quit the sniveling. It's time to get out there and go to work. He's going to make more jobs, so you will have a job. And he represents, I think, everybody. They've tried to smear him. They've tried to make him out a woman hater. Well, I never felt that he degraded. You know what I felt?
What?
I felt like if you were going to stand up and voice, then you better have it packed behind you. Now, that's why he treats a woman, if you say you're equal, he treats you equal. And
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Weather forecast looks like it's going to be a great day today, or is the sun going to shine?
Well, I could listen to those Alabama accents forever. That woman was from Alabama.
Yes, she was, because it says it on the screen.
Yeah.
Ron Burgundy.
Well, the weather in San Diego is going to be 68 degrees today, but here it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy, a high of 60. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 40. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 58, low tomorrow night, 40. And now it's time for check traffic even, with Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Bruce. Good morning. Good morning, Amy. Eden's inbound. Delay start at Pratt. 31 minutes, Light Cook to Montrose. Outbound 26. Kennedy, 45 minutes. O'Hare to downtown. 23 from Montrose. 21 in the Express. Outbound 27 minutes to Montrose. 57 to O'Hare. Inbound Eisenhower's now an hour and 2 minutes. Thorndale to the post office. 44 minutes from Manheim. Outbound an hour and 11 minutes to Thorndale after a crash past Wolf Road. Stevenson, 53 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 42. Ryan, 32 minutes, 95th to downtown. Tri-State delays are northbound, 111th to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Veterans Memorial slow about much of the way to Roosevelt and North Avenue to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hey, do you need to sell your home right now? Has it been on the market so long your listing expired? Well, I know who will absolutely sell your home now, and it's Saul Z and the Z team, and he needs homes right now all over the Chicagoland area. Saul's database of thousands of buyers are looking for homes in the $250,000 to $750,000 range. Now, there's likely a buyer for you right now, so don't wait. On average, Saul sells a home every single day. No other agent sells your home quicker for more money. He's so confident, get this, that he'll sell your home that he offers a 59-day guarantee. So list your home with Saul. If it's not under contract within 59 days, Saul sells it for free without his commission. Again, 59 days, or he'll sell it for free. And Saul needs homes to sell right now. So contact Saul Z today at saul.net. That's SAUL.net, or dial 888-346-0666. That's 888-346-0666. And tell Saul I sent you.
If you run a business, whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or construction, you know that commercial vans aren't one size fits all. Some vans are too small.
We're gonna have to make 2 trips.
Others too big.
Watch the top! Watch the top!
You need a van that's just right. That's where the Mercedes-Benz Metris comes in. It's the only available mid-size commercial van with unmatched safety features, a 2,500 2-pound payload, and enough cargo space to hold over 60 sheets of 4x8 drywall. It's big enough for the job, yet it's small enough to fit in your garage. It has a service interval of up to 15,000 miles and the highest residual value in its class, according to ALG. We won't give you a one-size-fits-all van. We'll do you one better, a commercial van that's sized just right for you. The 2016 midsize Metris. Mercedes-Benz. Vans born to run.
Hey there, this is Eric Metaxas. Lately, I've been telling you about Liberty University's online degree programs. Liberty University is the world's largest Christian university with over 95,000 students studying around the world through Liberty's online programs. While there are a lot of universities who've jumped into online education, few can deliver on the promise of a quality education with such flexibility, and even fewer can actually point to a graduate of their online program like my friend Morgan from Nashville.
I did it. I actually got my degree from Liberty University. 2 degrees, actually. Not only has this process taught me self-discipline, I've also learned that it is never too late to fulfill your dreams. And I did it all online. I did it, and you can too.
Call Liberty University now at 800-424-9595. That's 800-424-9595, 800-424-9595, or visit liberty.edu/online. Flexible, affordable, possible. Liberty University Online.
I have actually been on Balance of Nature for a year now. I have MS, and I recently had an MRI. This is the first year that I've had a stable MRI, so I'm thrilled. When I have an MRI with MS, usually there are glowing spots that come through, which is damage on the nerves in my brain and my spinal cord, and when they're glowing, it means they're active. And then my last MRI, they pulled it up, and I honestly couldn't believe that it was my MRI. There was nothing glowing. And in fact, the dark spots were shrinking. They were healing. And the doctor actually said to me, I think we're in remission. I was so happy. I had no idea that that could be my reality.
Call now to find out how to get your free month's supply of Balance of Nature. Call 800-2468-751. That's 800-2468-751. Or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Hey, you've heard how Automated Systems excels at assisting companies with systems integration and FDA compliance.
but they're also a staffing leader. They supply handpicked elite leadership, subject matter experts, and proven technical professionals in engineering, quality control, and FDA compliance to support the life sciences field in executing mission-critical projects. ASI provides highly specialized pros to deliver projects on time and budget. Don't pay a lot more to a big consulting firm, and don't trust the big temp agencies to supply the talent you need. Call Laz, my friend Laz at Automated Systems, when failure isn't an option. ASI is retained by all of Chicagoland's Fortune 500 life sciences companies, from big pharma to startups, and excel through a culture of excellence in execution. For a staffing, compliance, or automation evaluation, call Laz now at Automated Systems at 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI or AutomatedSYS.com.
Hi, this is Shalom Klein of Get Down to Business, the show for small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship, powered by Tandem HR. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, 1 out of every 5 adults over age 64 is still working. The number of Americans working past the traditional age of retirement has nearly doubled since the 1980s. While some attribute this statistic to healthier lifestyles and longevity, others simply cannot afford to retire. It's never too early to start planning for retirement. The best way to ensure financial security is to consult with a 401k or a financial advisor today. If you're a small or mid-sized business looking to offer an affordable retirement program to their employees, contact Tandem HR today. TandemHR.com. That's TandemHR.com.
For more tips, advice, and stories of entrepreneurial successes, listen to Get Down to Business with Shalom Klein. Heard Sunday afternoons at 6. Your business minute of the day is powered by Tandem HR.
It's hard sleeping on a flat pillow, flip-flopping during the night, or waking up feeling unrested. I suggest you order a MyPillow today. MyPillow has a patented interlocking fill that adjusts your individual sleep needs. It's washable, dryable, manufactured in America, and guaranteed not to go flat for 10 years. I've had mine for about 3 now, so I got another couple of terms going on MyPillow. If you're thinking about that tough person to buy for on your holiday list, right now is the best time to buy. For a limited time only, when you buy one MyPillow, you'll receive another MyPillow absolutely free. Plus 2 free Go Anywhere pillows. I like this. The money-back guarantee is extended through March 1st. Visit MyPillow.com, click the Radio Listener Special tab, and use the promo code AMY. You get 2 premium MyPillows and 2 Go Anywhere MyPillows for the price of 1. Plus, the extended money-back guarantee through March 1st for your holiday gifts. Or call 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Mention the Radio Listener Special, and be sure to use the promo code AMY. That's MyPillow.com or 800-489-0201.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, breaking news. Donald Trump thought Chris Christie was going to be president. We'll explain. Plus, Ed Morrissey joins us. And Hollywood celebs not leaving after all. Oh,
whoopee.
We'll have the list for you. But first, let's go back into the newsroom and say good morning once again to Mike Scott.
Amy and Bruce, President-elect Donald Trump has made his first 2 key personnel appointments. GOP Chief Reince Priebus will serve as Trump's White House Chief of Staff.
It's an operations role and it's an advisory role. So running the White House, everything from protocol to the daily routine to communications, policy, the president's agenda in Congress.
Breitbart News executive Stephen Bannon has been named a chief strategist. Over the weekend, Chinese President Xi Jinping and President-elect Trump engaged in electronic handshakes. Chinese state media report Xi affirmed the importance of relations with the United States and offered Trump congratulations. New Zealand is mounting a post-earthquake rescue mission to a very popular travel destination that's been cut off by damage from a 7.8 magnitude earthquake. Military helicopters and naval ships will be used to rescue about 1,000 tourists and hundreds of residents who are stranded in the coastal town of Kaikoura. It's home to about 2,000 residents. Charges pending after a 2-year-old child was killed by a vehicle on Chicago's northwest side. The girl and another woman were struck yesterday in the 4700 block of North Central Avenue. The driver of that car has been taken into custody. Tampa Bay beat the Bears 36-10. Jay Cutler, 2 INTs and 2 fumbles lost. Patrick Kane, the game winner in the Blackhawks win over Montreal, 3-2. The news, a service of Staples. Staples with low prices on technology for your business. And right now, buy any PC at Staples and get free tech support for 30 days. They'll help you set up your new PC so you don't lose critical files and help you connect to your network and your printer. Staples, make more happen. 7:33 is our time, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Remodel your kitchen with Galaxy. Buy one cabinet and get one free with free financing and design services. Call 773-783-8300.
This is Bob.
Hi, I'm Bob.
His company put their trust in Air Comfort to keep their business running cool all summer. Bob knows the value of proper chiller maintenance that includes end-of-season service, so he'll be ready for next summer.
I'm ready.
Dave, on the other hand, thought he could put off servicing his chiller at the end of last season and had 3 complete shutdowns this summer. Needless to say, his staff and customers were not happy. Moral of the story? Preventative maintenance will save you time, money, and trouble. As the hot weather ends, you need maintenance on your chiller before the start of next season. Air Comfort has one of the largest commercial and industrial service groups in the Chicago area, with a dedicated factory-trained chiller department that takes a scientific approach to analyzing your system and determining any needed maintenance. They know how to work on large equipment, perform an analysis of your chiller, and get you ready for next season. Call 708-345-1900 or visit aircomfort.com. Air Comfort, providing the right climate for business since 1935.
7:34. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here is Jim Telemonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Edens, delays start around Pratt. It's 25 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 27. The Kennedy, delays starting at Cumberland. 45 minutes. O'Hare to downtown outbound 57. The Eisenhower's an hour and 2 minutes. Thorndale to the post office outbound an hour 13 after a crash before the Reagan Tollway. Stevenson 58 minutes. 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 43. Ryan 32 minutes. 95th to downtown. Northbound Tri-State, stop and go Southwest Highway to 75th. From the Stevenson to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Grand Avenue, eastbound Adams Tollway really jammed up from 59 to 53, and slow busty to the Des Plaines Oasis. Traffic service, the 89-cent pancake deal at Burger King. How is this even possible? Right now at Burger King, you can get 3 pancakes for 89 cents. 3 hot, fluffy, golden pancakes for just 89 cents. Unbelievable but true. 3 pancakes, 89 cents, only at Burger King. Limited time only, price and participation vary. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center, providing the right climate for business since 1935. Sunny to partly cloudy, high near 60. Partly cloudy and 40 overnight. Currently, we have 42 at O'Hare. Next news at 8, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Fox River Periodontics, Chicagoland specialist with dental implants. To get your smile back, visit implantsforme.com.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Who sings this song, Bruce Wolf? No. Oh, that was really bad.
The New Christian Minstrels. Yeah.
Level 42. I knew that.
No, I think it's the Serendipity Singers.
Well, good morning. Amy Jacobson here. And sitting in for Dan Proft is Bruce Wolf.
Good morning.
I don't know what I'd laugh. If you want to hear a great interview on our podcast, is when Lynn Sweet came on about an hour ago.
Who's Lynn Sweet?
Oh, yeah, from the Sun-Times.
Washington Bureau Chief.
Are
Lynn Sweet.
Are you getting old and cantankerous, are you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you are.
I can't take any more of this.
Yes, I know.
Yes. What happened? What happened in that interview with Lynn Sweet?
Oh, anyway. On to bigger and better things. There's some breaking news this morning. Donald Trump apparently thought that Chris Christie was going to win the election.
Yeah, it's coming out now that Trump figured that he was going to be out of the race and that he would endorse Christie. This was like in 2015. Donald Trump didn't think he was going to win on the afternoon of the election, because I saw tweets about internal metrics in the Trump campaign saying that they thought there would be a miracle if he won because of the way the votes were going at that point. And then, it changed throughout the day.
Yeah, last night during the interview with Leslie Stahl, 60 Minutes, he talked about that moment when he realized he won.
On election night, I heard you went completely silent. Was it a sort of realization of the enormity of this thing for you?
I think so. It's enormous. I've done a lot of big things. I've never done anything like this. It is so big. It is so, it's so enormous. It's so amazing.
Kind of just took your breath away. Couldn't talk.
A little bit. And I think I realized that this is a whole different life for me now.
Hillary called you. Tell us about that phone call.
So Hillary called, and it was a lovely call. And it was a tough call for her. I mean, I can imagine. Tougher for her than it would have been for me, and for me it would have been very, very difficult. She couldn't have been nicer. She just said, "Congratulations, Donald. Well done." And I said, "I want to thank you very much. You were a great competitor." She's very strong and very smart.
What about Bill Clinton? Did you talk to him?
He called the next day.
Really? What did he say?
Actually called last night.
What did he say?
He couldn't have been more gracious. He said it was an amazing run, one of the most amazing he's ever seen. He was very, very, really very nice.
And he also got phone calls from H.W. Bush and George W. Bush as
And
well.
Bill invited him on Jeffrey Epstein's plane, which I thought was a very nice thing. He asked me to go on there. The thing about the interview on 60 Minutes is that, basically Trump is being legitimized with each passing interview because he's in that interview, and it's not so much what they say. It's the tone and the mood. And Leslie Stahl, the cutaways of Leslie Stahl smiling throughout the thing. It's like, it's Donald Trump. Compare and contrast that with like a crying Andrea Mitchell or Rachel Maddow. And this is Leslie Stahl. She's the liberal establishment, 60 Minutes. And she doesn't have a problem with it. She asked Trump to go over to the piano in the back and play Hallelujah. It was a good interview.
But what I learned from the interview is that there's some of his fundamental positions are open for negotiation, such as building the wall, possibly turning that into a fence in parts, and about deporting illegals. I mean, there's so many things that he seemed to flip-flop on, so many different themes that he campaigned on that now are open for negotiations. And with that, let's join Ed Morrissey, who joins us from, or should say, welcome Ed Morrissey, who joins us. He's the senior editor from hotair.com. Good morning, Ed. How are you?
Good morning, Amy. I'm doing great. How about yourself?
We're great. And Bruce Wolf is here sitting in for Dan Proft, just so you know. And
hi, Bruce.
Hey, Ed.
So the big controversy this morning is his controversial pick for Chief Strategic Officer, Steve Bannon. What's the reaction from the people that you know in Washington, D.C.?
Well, I think there's a lot of trepidation about that. The campaign was pretty rough. A lot of people put that on Stephen Bannon's plate, and very not just anti-democratic, but also anti-GOP establishment. And of course, there's a lot of concern over Breitbart.com's connections to the alt-right that has already come up as a sort of a criticism of this pick. And the only thing that I would say is, first off, Stephen Bannon's been part of the Trump organization for months now. It was unrealistic to expect that a guy who was part of the campaign leadership wouldn't have a role in the White House. And I think a lot of this stuff was litigated prior to the election, and it didn't seem to make much of a difference.
Well, here's, the problem, though, is, you got your conservative intellectuals, the never Trumpers like Jonah Goldberg, John Podhoretz, Kevin Williamson, those National Review commentary types. And there's 60% of me is that way. I know there's a schism in the party, but they're sounding this conciliatory note. Hey, they're not up in arms that Trump got elected, even though they didn't think he was even qualified to be the president. But then he makes a move like this, that he puts Bannon in an equal position, it seems like, with Reince Priebus. Of course, the thing is with Trump is that you never know what he's going to stand for, because just last night with Leslie Stahl on 60 Minutes, he announces that he wants a Supreme Court justice who's going to be willing to overturn Roe versus Wade, but won't overturn the same-sex decision. And I'd like to see the Venn diagram on justices who, have both of those opinions.
Yeah, well, I could give you the Venn diagram. It would probably be, Anthony Kennedy meets John Roberts.
You mean the High Sparrow?
John Roberts.
Okay.
Well, look, I mean, I think that's just a reflection of his own personal, choices. He's pro-life, but he is sort of a laissez-faire when it comes to defining marriage, and that's no different, I think, than any other president says. Well, I like this, I don't like that. It's not necessarily coherent in terms of judicial philosophy, but it just reflects who he is. I don't think he's I think that the pro-life, pro-Second Amendment litmus tests are going to be a lot stronger than the same-sex marriage litmus test will be. I think in those terms. But yeah, I mean it's kind of a funny thing. But I would also say I don't know that I hear a lot of this about chief political strategist being co-equal to chief of staff. I don't see that at all. The chief of staff is the guy who's the gatekeeper to the office. He's the guy who's going to run the relationships down Pennsylvania Avenue, and really with the cabinet officials, he's going to be sort of the chief operating officer of the White House. A political strategist is a significant role, but it's not a management role.
Well, who's President Obama's chief strategist?
Valerie, right?
No.
Valerie Jarrett runs the White House.
She's
the mom. It was Axelrod for a while. I don't know who it is now, but it was David Axelrod for the first term. It might have been Plouffe for a while, David Plouffe for a while. But they don't run things. They plan the political strategies. They plan the messaging of the day, the messaging of the week, those sorts of things. But they don't run things. Priebus runs things. He's going to be running the White House, and by extension, he's going to be running the relationships with the Senate and the House, because he's very good friends with Paul Ryan. The big signal on this is that it's no longer going to be open season on Paul Ryan, and Bannon's Breitbart.com had been basically the chief bugler for the open warfare on Paul Ryan. I see this quite differently. I see this as Bannon getting something significant, but nothing that's going to get in the way of getting business done.
Ed,
I think actually Bannon's chief role is going to be going after Democrats and going after the media. That's what he's going to do. And Priebus is going to run everything else.
He'll be an attack dog like that against the media, and he's in the media, and that makes sense, fighting fire with fire that way.
Well, is he going to break? I mean, has he broken his relationship off with Breitbart News?
Well, I mean, he won't. It's interesting. How is he going to be able to do that and be, in the White House? That's a difficult situation.
He won't be able to do both. No, he'll have to put aside the Breitbart.com. Thing for a while.
We're talking to Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com. I was reading a few months ago about how Trump does things, how he used to negotiate things, and he's like a big picture guy. He's not a detail man. Obviously, he didn't even know what the nuclear triad was, and he won election. But the thing is that what would happen is that, his right-hand man would be there at the negotiating table, the details guy, and the devil is always in the details. And, you wonder if, like Mike Pence or whatever is actually going to commandeer things. But on the other hand, you'll have Ivanka, come in every once in a while and say, hey, we got to do things for working mothers, stuff like that.
Yeah, I think he's going to get a lot of, he's a guy who's going to hear a lot of advice. That's true of presidents in general anyway. But yeah, I think that Mike Pence being in there is a strength. And I think Reince Priebus in there is a strength, and I think Ivanka is going to definitely still going to exert an influence. She's his daughter. She did a good job during the campaign. And, it'll be interesting to see how well all this works out. But, we're still only on, day 5 of the Trump era.
And it doesn't feel like a lifetime.
We have a lot to see about that.
Ed, O'Reilly has already written Killing Trump. It's already on the bookshelves. It's...
All right, so Donald Trump over the weekend, he's changing his tune on Obamacare, keeping 2 provisions, that you can stay on your parents' health insurance until you're 26. And if you have a pre-existing condition, you can still have health care. What other campaign promises is he going to walk back? I mean, already there was talk yesterday. He admitted, yes, there's not going to be a wall along the southern border. In certain parts, there's going to be a fence. What else do you think he'll change his mind on?
Well, first off, I don't think that that's necessarily walking back. It's just physically, it'd be physically impossible to put a wall up in a couple of these places down on the southern border. You're going to have to, just because the physical boundary, the way that the physical boundary is, it's going to be a little difficult to build a wall that won't just collapse. I think that the issue on Obamacare, that's a little trickier, because I think he's going to find that if you start getting sucked into some of these some of the features of Obamacare, that you end up having to buy the whole thing. And the people being on health plans, on parents' health plans until they're 26, is not actually a big structural issue. Because those people are usually very low utilizers of providers. So that's more of a cultural issue. It's more of an offensive cultural issue that we consider people children until they're 26. That when they can vote at 18, they can drink at 21. They're responsible for contracts at 18. We expect adults to be adults, and I think that's what the offensive part of that is. But it really doesn't impact insurers all that much to do that. What does matter is the mandate to cover pre-existing conditions married with the mandate for community pricing, which is that you can't deviate more than 20% within a plan on pricing based on risk factors. And that is a real problem, because when you also mandate that everybody has to buy comprehensive health insurance, it makes everybody else assume the risk that a very few people bring into the risk pool. And that's the reason why premiums went way up, and that's the reason why a lot of healthier adults just simply opted out, decided to pay the fine rather than pay these enormous premiums and deductibles. And so when you start buying into those mandates, you're going to create the same problem whether you call it Obamacare or not. And I think that that's what Republicans are going to explain to Donald Trump over the next 2 months.
All right. Thanks so much, Ed Morrissey. We're going to have to leave it there for today, but have a great day.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks. Ed Morrissey, senior editor for hotair.com, and he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, why I think Donald Trump won't last an entire term. We'll explain, but first, here's your forecast.
Today, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy, a high of 60 tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40 tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 58, low tomorrow night of 40. And now for a check of traffic, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thank you, Bruce. Southbound Lakeshore Drive, it's packed solid. Bryn Mawr to Irving Park, where there's a crash in the two left lanes. It is 40 minutes. Hollywood to Monroe. Northbound stop and go 31st to Jackson. Heavy there, too. 30 minutes from 67th to Jackson. On the Edens, it's 22 minutes. Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 29. The Kennedy, 53 minutes. So O'Hare to downtown, outbound 52. The Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound an hour 11. Stevenson is 58 minutes. 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43. Ryan, 32 minutes. 95th to downtown. Tri-State, southbound okay, but northbound slow from Harlem much of the way to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue, Adams Tollway jammed 59 to 53, and slow bussy to the Des Plaines Oasis, Veterans Memorial from I-55 most of the way to Roosevelt, and North Avenue to 290. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Looking to secure financing on a new home or refinance your existing home? Then you need to do what a lot of people do and call David Hochberg at Pearl Mortgage. If you're purchasing a home, you can call your bank, surf the internet, call a lender advertising on radio, or you can call David. Why David? Because in addition to his outstanding customer service, market knowledge, and low rates, David has a team of dedicated and experienced in-house underwriters, which gives David total control over the loan process. When purchasing a home, always compare closing costs, interest rates, and most importantly, make sure your lender has in-house underwriters. If your lender doesn't have in-house underwriters, hang up and call David. If you're purchasing a home and would like to work with an experienced loan professional who appreciates and values your business and has in-house underwriters, call David now, 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. David helps thousands of AM 560 listeners, but he can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333. That's 312-751-1333, or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage, an equal housing lender. Illinois residential mortgage licensee 4358, NMLS 19186.
The secret to how the rich keep getting richer is by passing down their wealth, generation to generation. If you do the same thing, you'll be leaving a legacy and be doing one of the most important things possible for the people you love. The ugly truth is, you don't have an estate plan. Everything you own, including your house, cars, investments, everything could be tied up in courts for a year or longer. It could cost your estate tens of thousands of dollars in probate and legal fees, even double government taxation. You can avoid this painful, costly mistake by contacting Tom Fortino of the Alpha Wealth Group. Tom hosts the Alpha Wealth Hour, heard Saturday mornings at 9 on AM 560, and has been a featured expert on Fox Business, Fortune, and Money Magazine. Right now, Alpha Wealth Group is offering you a free estate planning kit if you call 630-873-6326. That's 630-873-6326. 630-873-6326. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Wealth Advisors, Inc.
AM 560, The Answer.
So, I don't know if you caught this, but on election night, wee early in the morning on Wednesday at about 1:47 a.m., Donald Trump delivered his victory speech, and he said something that piqued my interest. And nobody's been, no one's talking about this, and it's kind of bothering me. Just listen closely to what Donald Trump said.
Forward to being your president. And hopefully at the end of 2 years or 3 years or 4 years or maybe even 8 years, you will say, so many of you worked so hard for us, but you will say that that was something that you were very proud to do, and I can thank you very much.
I mean, so did you hear that? At the end of 2 or 3 or 4 or maybe 8 years. I mean, do you think he's going to last a full term? I mean, already there's talk of him not wanting to live in the White House. There was a report out by the New York Times yesterday that talked about how he's already trying to find ways to reside in the president's mansion while also at his various residence. He's a homebody. He
wants to play golf during the week.
Well, on the weekends. He wants to go to Mar-a-Lago in Florida or his golf course in New Jersey. He doesn't want to stay at the White House on the weekends. He wants to get out.
President Obama, of course, was criticized for playing a lot of golf.
Oh, yeah.
I praised President Obama for playing golf because golf teaches discipline. Even if you name the course after yourself, as Trump has done, the course owns you.
Okay.
Because that humbles you.
Well, his life is about to change radically, and he realized that last night. And he, honestly, he told the New York Times he likes to be in his own bed. Even on the campaign trail, he would make sure, even if he had to fly back late at night and go back out west, he just wanted to sleep in his bed.
So what? Big deal. If you believe Bill O'Reilly, Reagan was addle-pated and was sitting up in his room and didn't know what he was doing except eating jelly beans.
And the future First Lady, Melania Trump, expects to move to Washington. But their 10-year-old son, Barron, he's midway through the school year in New York, and it's unclear whether he's going to join them or maybe join them at the end of the year.
Can I say one thing about Barron? And we've got to be very careful because he's only 10 years old, okay?
Yes.
But I saw him, they had clips yesterday in the interview.
Yeah.
His tie is way too short. It should go to his belt buckle.
Oh, my gosh.
But if somebody told me...
10. He's 10, and he's already taller than you.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile. And now, a moment of objectivism with Yaron Brook and the Ayn Rand Institute.
American schools are mass-producing students who are not only largely ignorant of history, science, literature, and geography, but also unable to read, write, or add properly. Among the world's 34 richest countries, the U.S. is ranked 27th in math, 20th in science, and 17th in reading. America's educational crisis is no coincidence. Progressive education says that teaching children how to express themselves and get along with others is more important than teaching them facts or developing their ability to think rationally and independently. If you'd like to know more about the philosophical cause and solution of America's educational crisis, check out Teaching Johnny to Think, a philosophy of education based on the principles of Ayn Rand's objectivism by Leonard Peikoff at ARIradio.com. From the Ayn Rand Institute, I'm Yaron Brook.
This has been a moment of objectivism from the Ayn Rand Institute. To learn more, listen to the Yaron Brook Show, Saturdays at 4 on AM 560, and visit ARIradio.com.
If you enjoy Yaron Brook's Moments of Objectivism, consider making a gift to support content like this from the Ayn Rand Institute. ARI fosters a growing awareness, understanding, and acceptance of Ayn Rand's philosophy
I started to lick it off my elbow and it tasted good.
To create a culture guided by the principles
We
of
have
reason,
the makings of an alcoholic.
It tastes like rich
and
people's
laissez-faire
beer.
capitalism. To support this work,
I
go
started to lick it off my elbow and it
ARIradio.com
tasted
and
good.
click on the donate button.
We have the makings of an alcoholic.
It tastes
like rich
Ayn Rand
people's
to the
beer.
next generation.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. About 6 years ago, I was diagnosed with congestive heart
So
failure.
we want to get more Iraqi security forces trained.
16 hours a day with no problem to where I could barely walk a block to the store without having to stop and rest. I went on
So
to
do you think that there's
By the way,
something...
I'm not saying, I have great relationship with the Mexican
my medical
people.
doctor had cut my prescription.
The fact is, she asked me a very inappropriate question. She should really be apologizing to me. You want to know the truth? I said she was so angry that blood was coming out of her eyes, blood was coming out of her, and then I didn't even finish the answer because I wanted to get on to the next point.
I will be phenomenal to the women. I mean, I want to help women. Of course, it's very hard for them to attack me on looks because I'm so good looking.
To find out how to get your free month supply of Balance of Nature, call 800-2468-751.
Even if they don't get to the World Series, just so we're not losers anymore.
Use promo code Chicago.
Peter forgot to order
Play all the tapes.
Hey, beautiful wife.
Hey, how's my beautiful wife? Play all.
Now, Patty works. She's very good at what she does. She's as qualified as Michelle Obama, if not more qualified.
Peter really needs to call Combined Sales. Combined
Michelle
Sales has
Obama
the
getting
products and
$65
solutions
grand a
your
year
business can't
for,
live
you know,
without. From
what
paper
was
to
Treehouse
pans,
Food,
packaging,
Patty?
janitorial and safety supplies, and food service, Combined Sales to the rescue.
Quinlan, what
They're
was
local and can get you the supplies needed to
Treehouse
keep your
Food,
business
what
running
is that?
smoothly,
Yeah, and she's making
fast,
$300
and
grand
at a
over the
great
University of
price.
Chicago.
Plus, you'll deal with
her
real
husband's
people,
federal
not just another
funds are
faceless
going
internet
there. What?
site.
Yeah,
You'll have
it's
an
your first one
outside
up
rep,
as soon
an
as he
inside
got
rep,
elected
and a
Senate.
customer service rep. Right now, Combined
And they
Sales
use
has a
able to get federal
presidential offer for new
funding to University
customers.
of Chicago.
This is huge. Open a business account today.
It's very
Order
annoying because I'm
$500 in
trying to go to the
supplies, and
casino
you'll earn
here,
5%
trying to get away
co-op
from
reward
all
dollars
this
on all purchases
stuff,
for the next 3
and I
months.
can't find
Plus,
my
receive
car.
a bonus $50
For
co-op
us,
reward.
it's
Request
sort
an
of
account
similar
set
to
up
the
today
World
at
Trade Center for New York. You know, they would always look into the sky and see this marking. And for me, the water tower always tells me I'm home.
But the Michelin Man is ready to protect you with Michelin Stealth Wiper Blades. Exclusive SmartFlex technology makes these blades flex to the curve of your windshield, giving you the best wipe possible and streak-free, long-lasting performance for safer driving. Winter is coming, and when it arrives, be ready. Michelin Wiper Blades. It doesn't get any clearer than this. Available at Walmart, Pep Boys, Home Depot, and other fine retailers.
Here are the stories we're watching right now. CPD and the feds launch a violence crackdown over the weekend. The Bucks rout the Bears. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Fox News Radio. I'm Dave Anthony. Donald Trump says, as president,
I'll conduct myself in a very good manner.
But
sometimes you have to be rougher.
As for all the protests in cities nationwide since he won the election, he tells demonstrators, don't be afraid, he'll unite people. When asked on CBS's 60 Minutes about instances of his supporters harassing minorities,
I am so saddened to hear that, and I say stop it.
The president-elect also says that border wall he pledged to build might be a fence in places, and he wants to keep some provisions of Obamacare. President-elect Trump still considering who he wants for his cabinet. He has picked the chief of staff, Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus. Fox's John Decker live at the White House.
Incoming White House Chief of Staff Reince Priebus, speaking on Fox and Friends, said he was optimistic that the Trump administration will be successful in jump-starting the U.S. economy, securing the border, and defeating ISIS.
In 20 years, we want every American, no matter who you are, to look back at President Trump and say, wow, this person did an incredible job.
Priebus is seen as a consensus builder who knows how to navigate Capitol Hill. Joining Priebus as President-elect Donald Trump's first hires will be former campaign chairman Stephen Bannon, who will serve as senior counselor and chief strategist. Dave?
John will hear from President Obama at a news conference this afternoon, then he'll leave the country.
Deputy National Security Advisor Ben Rhodes says during his trip to Greece, Germany, and Peru, President Obama will do what he can to shore up agreements and policies ahead of a Trump presidency.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland. You can hear the president's news conference on many Fox News radio stations. A military judge is considering delaying Bo Bergdahl's trial, hearing arguments in court this morning. Prosecutors say they need more time for the defense to see classified evidence. The Army sergeant is charged with desertion and misbehavior before the enemy after walking off a base in Afghanistan and being captured by the Taliban, who freed Bergdahl 5 years later in a controversial prisoner swap. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Partly sunny this morning, 43 degrees. At 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning, I'm Mike Scott. Charges are pending after a 2-year-old child was killed by a vehicle on Chicago's northwest side. It happened in the 4700 block of North Central Avenue. where local residents have been campaigning for a stop sign at that intersection for years. The driver of the car was taken into custody. Authorities are still searching for the parents of the baby found dead this summer in DuPage County. The child, known as Baby Hope, was discovered in August inside a backpack near a private drive in unincorporated Wheaton. Investigators now say they believe the baby's parents are of Latino or Hispanic descent. A top Democrat leader in the Illinois legislature says no one will be attending from the Democratic side a post-election meeting that Governor Bruce Rauner called for today to discuss ending an epic budget standoff. General Assembly House Speaker Michael Madigan and Senate Leader John Cullerton say they will not be attending that meeting. A civil trial focused on the wrongful conviction of a former street gang member who spent 18 years in prison for a double murder before being cleared begins in Chicago. The federal civil trial that begins today stems from a lawsuit brought by Nathan Fields, alleging investigators fabricated or concealed evidence. NFL, Tampa Bay blasted the Bears 36-10. NHL, Blackhawks skate by Montreal 3-2. The news service of Unbound. Right now there's a girl in India who has dreams bigger than her village. Right now there's an elder in Guatemala who dreams of a life of greater dignity and less loneliness. You can help change the future. Begin the change at unbound.org. 8:03, time for the AM 560 Business Beat from the Fox Business Network, a service of turnkey.pro. Here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, locking in a mortgage will cost you more this week. Interest rates moved higher last week following Donald Trump's election. Investors believe President Trump will spend money on infrastructure and provide other stimulus to the economy, potentially resulting in higher inflation. MortgageNewsDaily.com says the average for a 30-year fixed rate last week rose to 3.87%, rising 0.25 percentage point. Germany's Siemens is buying Mentor Graphics, which makes software and automation technology. Siemens provides systems for power generation and transmission, medical diagnosis, and industrial software. Mentor is based in Oregon. And now you can study online to learn about driverless cars. MarketWatch says online education startup Udacity has launched a nano degree program. The Dow closed up 39 Friday to a fresh record. Futures are higher. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
It's 8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
You need to understand that the way you build wealth is you do not use the evening news or CNN or Fox to set the tone of your emotions around your investing.
The Dave Ramsey Show.
If you're thinking of changing your investing patterns because you're watching the news, you need to turn off the news. You are in charge of your destiny.
Dave Ramsey. Weeknights starting at 7. Presented by Wintrust Community Bank on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Jay Farner, president of Quicken Loans. Mortgage rates have dropped again. In fact, recently, mortgage rates have dropped to the second lowest level in history. Now is the time for you to take advantage of these historically low rates and save serious money every month by refinancing your mortgage. The rate today on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is all the way down to 3.5%, APR 3.57%. Call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN to see how far we can lower your mortgage payment. For 6 years in a row now, J.D. Power has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. And for the third year, they also ranked us highest in the nation for mortgage servicing. It's a great time to refinance with Quicken Loans and save hundreds every month. This ultra-low rate of 3.5% won't last long. So call 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com. That's 800-QUICKEN.
Visit jdpower.com for award information. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
8:06. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 Traffic Center time. Here's Jim Telemonti.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound ride at 95th, the crash just moved to the right shoulder, but it's got I-57 jammed. 40 minutes, I-80 to the merge. Bishop Ford, 42 minutes. And the ride is 30 minutes, 95th to downtown. Eden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 31. Kennedy is now 58 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, outbound 49. The Eisenhower, an hour and 3 minutes, Thorndale to the post office. 43 minutes from Mannheim, outbound an hour 11 to Thorndale. Stevenson an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, about 46 minutes. Tri-State southbound stop and go Washington to 176. Northbound 95th to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway slow Roselle to 53 and Bussey to the Des Plaines Oasis. Veterans Memorial from Boughton most to the way to Roosevelt, and from the Army Trail Toll to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the AirComfort.com Weather Center, here's meteorologist Kevin Snyder.
Today, sunny to partly cloudy, high 60. Partly cloudy tonight, low 40. Intervals of clouds and sun tomorrow, high 58. Tomorrow night, clear to partly cloudy with a low 40. Partly sunny Wednesday, high 56. I'm Kevin Snyder on AM 560, The Answer.
42 at O'Hare, 43 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Ayn Rand Institute and the Yaron Brook Show. Heard Saturday afternoons at 4 here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome to your Monday morning briefing. Here's what you need to know to start your day.
Are you really going to build a wall?
Yes.
They're talking about a fence in the Republican Congress.
Sure.
Would you accept a fence?
For certain areas I would, but certain areas the wall is more appropriate.
I've never seen this before. I watched a white riot in Portland, Oregon on television the other night.
Are you going to take the salary, the president's salary?
Well, I've never commented on this, but the answer is no.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
He'll do it for $1. You heard it. Donald Trump was refusing to take the $400,000 a year salary, but legally he has to take something, so the lowest denomination he could take is a $1 bill.
You slip it in his garter.
Yeah.
When I'm giving you a lap dance on one of my gold chairs here. Would you like me to go over to my piano in the back, Leslie? And I'll play Hallelujah for you like Kate McKinnon played for Hillary.
Yes.
I'm working on my Trump. Is it all right?
Yes, you are. That voice.
Because I couldn't do Obama for 8 years. I can't do that imitation. Well, I could do him imitating Al Green. I am so in love with you. Everybody does Al Green.
That is Bruce Wolf, not Dan Proft. Bruce Wolf, who's in for Dan Proft.
Dan is...
what's Dan doing?
He's rehearsing for... He's in Hamilton tonight.
Oh, he's the understudy in Hamilton?
No, not understudy. He's playing himself in Hamilton because he's one of the founding fathers.
Exactly.
Jefferson dining alone with, the most brilliant meeting of the minds. Mm-hmm. Not when Dan is sitting there with him. No.
Well, Dan will be back tomorrow. And I can't wait to hear his reaction and your reaction. 312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636, type in DA, then a quick comment, although I haven't checked the text messages at all today, but Bruce is all over that, right? And the question is, should Donald Trump assign a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton and her private email server? Now, he has said repeatedly on the campaign trail that he's going to lock her up. He's going to put her in jail. But now that he's the president-elect, we're seeing a softer side of Donald Trump. We're seeing a lot of vacillation going on when it comes to the wall, which might turn into a fence, when it comes to deportation, when it comes to Obamacare. He's keeping two key provisions of that. And here he is with Leslie Stahl last night.
Are you going to ask for a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton over her emails? And are you, as you had said to her face, going to try and put her in jail?
Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to think about it. I feel that I want to focus on jobs. I want to focus on health care. I want to focus on the border and immigration and doing a really great immigration bill. We want to have a great immigration bill. And I want to focus on all of these other things that we've been talking about and get the country straightened away.
You called her crooked Hillary, said you wanted to get in jail. Your people in your audiences kept saying, lock him up.
Yeah. Well, she did some bad things. I mean, she did some bad things.
A special prosecutor?
I don't want to hurt them. I don't want to hurt them. They're good people. I don't want to hurt them. And I will give you a very, very good and definitive answer the next time we do 60 Minutes together.
Wow. Who knew Donald Trump was so compassionate?
Well, wait a minute. I saw the debate, the town hall they had.
Yeah,
and
the last one. He's going to lock her up.
He turned towards her. This wasn't just looking at camera 2 or 3. He turned towards her and said that he was going to appoint the special prosecutor. Now he's going to pivot, and he's waffling on this?
I can't wait to hear from conservatives, Trump supporters, 312-642-5600. Is he not going to be hiring a special prosecutor for the sake of the country to promote unity?
Yeah.
Or do we want to go for the jugular?
No, I think we let her off and we give her a golden parachute of $1 billion. If they promise never, it's like, was it in a Superman movie with George? They just placed them on another
try
planet.
To live in reality. Oh, yeah.
And just placed on another planet somewhere.
Uh-huh.
To the North Pole or whatever.
So do you think he should assign a special prosecutor?
Here's the thing.
That he should live up to his campaign promise? Because Donald Trump's looking a whole lot more middle-of-the-road Democratic to me right now.
Totally.
Which is fine because that's why, to calm down my liberal lady friends, it's like, take a breath and look at the subject. I begged them last night, watch 60 Minutes. Your questions will be answered.
Yeah.
Embrace it. Not him, but the office of the presidency, and respect it.
Handy-dandy Andy McCarthy, former special prosecutor, writes for National Review about legal affairs. He thinks that Obama will wind up pardoning Hillary. You don't have to be charged with the crime before you're pardoned.
Right.
So he thinks Obama will do it because Obama's implicated a little bit because he, after all, knew that Hillary was emailing her.
Chain.
He was emailing her under
alias.
pseudonym, all that. So he'll probably do that. I'm hoping that.
But so even if he does, excuse me, because you're an attorney, if President Obama pardons her, could Donald Trump, once he's sworn into office, still hire or assign a special prosecutor? Or the fact that she was pardoned, that it wipes out everything?
Well, you can't prosecute her once she's pardoned. So she would have been pardoned. But here's the thing: I would do everything must go clearance sale. I would also pardon Blagojevich as well, who, by the way, I know. He's DVR'd till he gets out. He doesn't even know the Cubs won the World Series, and he's a big Cubs fan. So no, it was more remunerative for Hillary, the Clinton Foundation, than anything Blago got. You got to let Blago out too.
I'm a Blago sympathizer, but that's
because you're such a bleeding heart.
Oh, I know, I'm a bleeding heart.
Because he gave pap smears to the state of Illinois, to women in the state of Illinois. He did that.
Bruce. Seriously?
He announced it at his farewell press conference. He said it like 3 or 4 times. It was on an endless loop.
Okay, let's go to the phones. 312-642-5600. Let's go to Diane, who joins us from the South Side. Good morning, Diane.
Good morning, Amy, and good morning to my favorite gentleman who knows how to conduct an interview with that woman from the Sun-Times.
Lynn Sweet. I was not a gentleman, Diane. I was horrible, but go ahead.
He has to prosecute Hillary. That was the reason why we voted for him. She committed some horrible crimes. She has exposed our country to terrorism, and she did say on public television it takes 4 minutes to make a decision and whether or not to pull that nuclear red button. Thank you very much for giving away all our secrets. Secondly, on abortion, I understand that he may have to backtrack on that a little bit, but I would like to see someone come out and say no partial birth abortion and no abortion past the first trimester. And if I'm paying for tax dollars, you only get one mistake, not 25.
All right. Thanks, Diane. Let's go to Will, who joins us from Skokie. Good morning, Will.
Good morning. Yeah,
Hi.
I think that they're going to have to do something with Hillary because the people who voted for Trump voted for change, and too often politicians will get off with, him losing his office or being disgraced is punishment enough. No, it's not. And they're starting to basically hold these politicians responsible and accountable, and I think something's going to have to be done. The other thing, too, is if Obama pardons her for the email stuff, is he also going to pardon her for the Clinton Foundation stuff?
Everything. She's going to be pardoned for the cattle futures from years ago. She's going to be pardoned for not being a loving and faithful wife.
Thanks, Will, for the phone call.
Sorry.
Oh, no. What else?
Bruce, squirrel. But anyway,
Lamp?
The point that I'm trying to say
yes,
is if he does specifically pardon her for the Clinton thing, or if he does specifically pardon her for the Clinton thing, does that mean she has to admit that the Clinton Foundation did wrong stuff?
Will, I am not an
good
expert
question.
in on presidential pardons. That's a specialty. Mine is admiralty law. But the thing is that I think he can grant a blanket pardon so that she's pardoned for
From
all those
all
things.
prosecution.
Not for everything in the world, not for a traffic ticket.
But still, again, the question, I mean, should Donald Trump live up to his campaign promise and assign a special prosecutor?
No.
Let's go to Ed, who joins us from LaGrange. Good morning, Ed.
Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm sorry to say, I think this is the beginning of what you're going to see a lot of walkbacks from Donald Trump. I was not a fan of his. I said everything he's saying is a flim-flam man. He's not going to come through with it. And now we're seeing it start right away. He's backing off on abortion. He's backing off on the wall. He's backing off on putting Hillary in jail.
He didn't back off on abortion last night with Leslie Stahl. I was actually surprised that he said, hey, it's going to go, Roe versus Wade's going to be reversed. I mean, he actually said that. That's the furthest I've ever heard any president say.
He said it's going back to the states. He said we're not going to get rid of abortion. It's going to go back to the states.
That's all conservatives have ever wanted. They wanted it to go back to the states. They didn't want a constitutional
conservatives want it reversed.
Thank you.
They want the whole thing. Thanks, Ed.
No, reversal is sending it back to the states. That's what the
Well, then
reversal
each
of Roe
state's-
versus Wade
Right,
is.
but they don't. True conservatives don't want any abortion anywhere.
I know, but as
Dan
far as-
Proft says, Illinois is a dumping ground for abortions.
I get it, but the true conservative believes in federalism and believes it goes back to the states. There shouldn't be any federal legislation or constitutional amendment.
I want
on
you to
that.
hear real quick Donald Trump last night, why he said some of the things that he said on the campaign trail.
Are you going to sometimes have that same rhetoric that you had on the stump, or are you going to rein it in?
Sometimes you need a certain rhetoric to get people motivated. I don't want to be just a little nice monotone character. And in many cases, I will be. Sure, I can. I can be easily. That's easier. Honestly, doing that is easier.
So his rhetoric, inflammatory rhetoric, was just to get people's attention, to get people to the polls.
He said that he's going to continue tweeting. It's a great vehicle.
Yes.
He's only going to take $1 a year. You know who he reminds me of? A guy who makes no money and tweets way too much.
Who?
You're looking at him. All I have to do is have orange hair, and I am Donald
It
Trump.
all goes back to Bruce.
Amy,
you're
that's
true.
what I am. I'm like
And you
that.
got to get, orange
Yes.
skin and orange hair. Let's go to Dean, who joins us from Naperville. Good morning, Dean.
Hi, good morning. I just think everybody needs to relax. I mean,
so do I.
We've got people protesting all over this country. People say they want unity, but now they want to hold his feet to the fire. He hasn't even taken office yet. Like, give him a chance. If he comes out and he's just the same Donald Trump that was talking in these debates, it's going to incite more riots with these people. You can't win, you can't lose with these guys. I think he's trying to calm the country a little bit and say, look, I want to lead you guys. I want to take you somewhere you've never been before, but you've got to give me a chance. If everybody's just going to sit there and say, well, you said this, you did this, nobody could work under those situations. I think we've got to give them a chance. That's all I'm saying.
All right, thanks, Dean, for the phone call. Let's go to Mike, who joins us from Aurora. Good morning, Mike.
Hello.
Hello.
I think that Trump should definitely pursue the investigation on Hillary, and if she's found to be in violation of the law, prosecute her. He ran on a platform of law and order, and for the interest of justice, he needs to pursue that.
Okay.
He needs to also keep in mind that the Republican establishment is trying to weave their way in deeply to his decision-making and his administration. And if he's not careful, he'll have the same unrest from the people that got him in office, unhappy with him being in office.
And how does that manifest itself, the establishment getting too involved in the administration? I mean, things like free trade, stuff that conservatives have always believed in. I mean, how does it work? How does it manifest itself?
Those issues there are things that he's able to work his way through. He's knowledgeable about those types of things. People listened to him when they chose to vote for him, and now he's been elected, and he needs to follow his best guidance. Not to say that they shouldn't be involved, but they shouldn't try to dictate what they've stood for in the past alone and not consider his new ideas that the people like.
All right. Thanks so much, Mike.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up next, the conversation continues. Should Donald Trump assign a special prosecutor to Hillary Clinton. But first, here's your forecast.
Today it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy, a high of 60. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40. Tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 58. Low tomorrow night, 40. Now for a check of traffic, here's Jim Talamonte.
Thank you, Bruce/Cliff. Good morning. Tri-State southbound really gummed up now from Washington to 176, and northbound at Stop and Go 95th to 47th, and from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Very heavy on Lakeshore Drive this morning. Southbound Hollywood to North Avenue. There was an earlier crash in Irving Park. Then 18th to the Stevenson. Northbound it's slow from 31st to Jackson. Edens, 21 minutes like Cook to Montrose, but outbound 34. Kennedy, 52 minutes, so O'Hare to downtown, a little quicker than the Express. Outbound 41. The Eisenhower's an hour and 5 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, outbound 55 minutes. Stevenson an hour, 3:55 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 46 minutes. Bryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. A crash at 95th is cleared. Still have significant delays on I-57 and the Bishop Ford. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
Hey, you've heard the name Turnkey IT for years on this radio station, and you know that they do something with IT for business. The truth is that Turnkey IT supports users, not simply computer devices. Now, the average consumer has just under 4 connected devices that they use daily. You know, smartphones, tablets, laptops, desktops. And these devices connect to fitness devices, watches, thermostats, even your refrigerator. So the professionals at Turnkey IT help you connect all of them together so your company is as connected as you want it to be. Turnkey IT has a great team of professionals who help users every day, just like you and me. From the simplest to the most complex systems, they make technology workable, usable, and reliable. So guess what? If you're tired of just settling for technology and you want to really make your technology work for you, then you should do what I did. Visit turnkey.pro today to see how simple and affordable it can be to get your tech world spinning. That's turnkey.pro, turnkey.pro.
Scoundrels are not exclusive to politics. They're smart enough to occupy necessity service industries like the automotive business. As a real estate broker, my car is a lifeline and a total necessity to my business and my family, which is why I had to seek out an honest, truthful auto service provider. For over the past decade, I've put my trust in Craigies Mobile Service Center on Lake Street in Addison. Craigies handles full auto repair on foreign and domestic vehicles. They pride themselves on providing you the best cost-effective auto repair and expert advice. Craigies has full service bays and truck lifts that can service and manage your whole fleet. They also provide priority service for your business and can track each vehicle, alerting you to the repair before you need it, keeping your guys on the road. Since 1959, Craigies Mobile Service Center has thrived through 10 presidential administrations, giving you reputable, dependable, and honest auto repair. Do yourself a favor. Just go into Craigies on Lake Street in Addison. See my guy Vic. He'll set you up. Tell him Sean from Elmwood Park sent you. I approve of this message.
Ladies, you work hard. Whether you're a stay-at-home mom, work outside the home, or both, your sacrifices may have affected your appearance. Well, I have some great news. I'm excited to tell you about Bert and Will Plastic Surgery and Laser Center. Childbearing, breastfeeding, weight gain, weight loss, or just normal aging, I know, can affect our appearance. Unfortunately, dieting and exercise aren't always enough. Dr. Bert offers the Mommy Makeover. It includes a tummy tuck, breast augmentation with the new memory-shaped implants. Dr. Will specializes in Botox, neck lifts, and facial procedures. You can uncover the beauty within. Doctors Bert and Will are female board-certified plastic surgeons. Curious? Well, I met them and I love them. You'll receive a free consultation at any of their Chicagoland offices or register for an upcoming seminar. Call 630-930-3555 or visit uncovermybeauty.com. 630-930-3555 or uncovermybeauty.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
We were singing a different tune. We were singing, oh my God, we got to stop singing from The Music Man.
Yeah. Because Harold Hill was the Flim Flam Man.
He was talking about Flim Flam Man.
And Donald Trump has been accused of being, I think he's more just a flibberty gibbet, which comes from the Sound of Music.
You get what you vote for. I don't know if people are having buyer's remorse this morning, but I knew this was coming. Donald Trump, not as conservative as thought, but also, too, changing his views on a number of campaign promises, such as Obamacare, such as building the wall, such as assigning a special prosecutor to go after Hillary Clinton. So let's go to the phone lines. Here's Tom from Schaumburg. Good morning, Tom. How are you?
Good morning and welcome back, Bruce. We've missed you.
Thank you, Tom.
2 points, I'll be quick. 8 years ago, every Democrat in Congress told us The reason we needed Obamacare is because we had 30 million uninsured in America. Nancy Pelosi told us our country was an international disgrace because we had 30 million uninsured in America. And in the last debate, this went right by Donald Trump, and I was really mad that he missed it. Hillary Clinton said Obamacare was a stunning success because we had 90% coverage. Well, I got news for you, Hillary. 10% of 320 million means we got more people uninsured now than ever before. The people that do have insurance are paying twice as much for it as they ever paid before. And we have tens of millions of people who have deductibles that are so high that they're never going to be able to use the insurance that they're being forced by law to buy. I'll tell you what, one thing I know for sure is that if this issue doesn't get fixed, 2 years from now, there ain't one Republican that's going to win re-election in the midterms.
Tom, you know what I think is going to happen in 2 years? Because the Republicans are going to resist these changes that Trump wants to have. I think you're going to see a Democratic resurgence. I mean, they couldn't go any lower than they are now. I think you're going to see them gain. It's going to be difficult for them to take over the Senate, but there's going to be a resurgence among the Democrats.
Bruce, my daughter and son-in-law were paying $400 a month and a $1,000 deductible. They're now paying $700 a month and a $5,000 deductible, and it's killing them. And now the rates are going to go up another 43% in Illinois next year.
Yeah,
it's absolutely devastating. If this issue doesn't get fixed, there ain't one Republican currently holding office in the midterm election that's going to get reelected. That's how important this is. As far as prosecuting her, I don't know, but all of her sins have to see the light of day, and then they need to cut a deal to make sure that none of the Clintons, including their daughter, can ever serve in government again.
But Tom, can you sing Hallelujah? That's what we want to hear.
Let's go to Steve. Thanks, Tom, for the phone call. Here's Steve on the South Side.
Hey, guys. Hey, Doug. Good to have you back on.
Thank you.
I got a couple different points. Number one, I don't expect Donald Trump to follow through on a lot of his campaign promises, but at the very least, I don't think calling the Clintons great people. Number two, Lynn Sweet, typical liberal, who wants to espouse her views or basically regurgitate her liberal views, but then as soon as she gets an opposing view, she shuts down and says, "Oh, I didn't come on here to debate."
Gosh, I didn't think she was espousing her views. She was just saying the facts.
I think Republicans and conservatives especially are going to hold Donald Trump accountable way more than any Democrat, liberal, or anybody else who's throwing their temper tantrum right now.
And thank you so much. And here's the thing. Here's the great thing. And Mark Stein pointed this out. You know, we've had the imperial presidency. We don't like that. Conservatives don't like that. We want to repose more power in Congress, and that's exactly what's going to happen. Paul Ryan is going to be elevated, and we're not going to have this obeisance to the President of the United States anymore. As a matter of fact, I don't even want to call him Mr. President. He's our apprentice, and if he doesn't do a good job, you're fired.
It's news, opinion, insight. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and I couldn't pay my bills. I was feeling so bad. I got to a point where I needed some help. So I reached out and contacted Trinity.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976 to talk to a certified counselor.
They were able to take all of my different payments and put them all together.
Trinity will consolidate your accounts into one easy-to-manage monthly payment, put a stop to late fees and over-limit charges, reduce your interest, and possibly improve your credit score. You'll save thousands.
And they were actually able to work with my creditors. I've been able to pay off close to $15,000 in the last 18 months.
If your debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Stephanie, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
ChicagoRadioDeals.com has pulled the trigger to bring you classes for Illinois gun owners. Take advantage of Illinois concealed carry classes from Safer USA. Dave Lombardo, class instructor, is offering his concealed carry 16-hour seminar for only $150. This seminar is normally $300. It covers everything you need to know to protect you and your family with a concealed carry firearm for personal protection or against a home invasion. Dave is a pro and is also the host of the show On Target Radio. Get in a little range time as well with a 1-year range membership from the Outdoorsman Sports Shop in Winthrop Harbor. This is the premier gun range in Northeast Illinois, and a one-year membership is only $149. That's a $350 value. Your range membership includes great discounts on products and services at the Outdoorsman Sports Shop. Find out all the details on ChicagoRadioDeals.com, also featuring great deals on many other lifestyle training classes at ChicagoRadioDeals.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, minority students who have allegedly been harassed by Trump supporters. You'll hear from one, and Guy Benson will be joining us.
Sting says he doesn't want this song played on this show. No, and Springsteen doesn't want any of his stuff. And forget Chrissy Hine and the Pretenders as well, Rush Limbaugh. Okay.
Let's go into the newsroom now. Here is Mike Scott.
45 degrees, clouds, and sunshine. President-elect Donald Trump's new chief of staff says he's ready to take on that job.
It's an operations role and it's an advisory role. So running the White House, everything from protocol to the daily routine to communications, policy, the president's agenda in Congress.
Current Republican National Committee Chairman Reince Priebus on Fox and Friends this morning. Former Democratic National Committee Chair Howard Dean looking to return to that post. He says the DNC needs someone with experience. He'll have competition. Minnesota Congressman Keith Ellison expected to announce today he'll run for DNC leader as well. A man accused of gunning down a California sheriff's deputy returning to Stanislaus County in California to stand trial. David Machado shot a Stanislaus County deputy, Dennis Wallace, in the head twice. He was later nabbed about 150 miles away. Hundreds may have to be rescued by helicopter or boat following a powerful earthquake in New Zealand on the South Island. Military helicopters and naval ships are headed to the coastal town of Kokura after that 7.8 magnitude quake. Charges are pending after a 2-year-old child was killed by a vehicle on Chicago's northwest side. That driver of that vehicle was taken into custody. And authorities are still searching for the parents of the baby found dead this summer in DuPage County. Child known as Baby Hope was discovered in August inside a backpack near a private drive in unincorporated Wheaton. Detectives gathered more information yesterday by canvassing the area where the baby was found. NFL Sunday, Tampa Bay blasted the Bears 36-10. Blackhawks over Montreal 3-2. The news a service of Staples. Staples has low prices on technology for your business. Right now, buy any PC at Staples and get free tech support for 30 days. They'll help you set up your new PC so you don't lose critical files and help you connect to your network and your printer. Staples, make more happen. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
Second Amendment Sports is a beautiful new 4,000 square foot showroom with an outstanding selection of Ruger firearms and accessories. Choose from over 25 Rugers in stock, from Vaquero revolvers to 10/22 rifles. Enjoy great Ruger quality and pricing that includes an excellent warranty plus customer service. And you won't pay gun or Cook County taxes at Second Amendment. Ask about affordable memberships offering range time and discounts. Practice on one of 14 premium ventilated shooting ranges. For Christmas, a Second Amendment Sports gift card is perfect. Second Amendment Sports and Ruger, excellence in firearms. Call 815-385-5522 for information or visit secondamendsports.com, 815-385-5522, or online at secondamendsports.com. Head north to Second Amendment Sports in McHenry, Chicagoland's Ruger retail headquarters. Open Black Friday with specials and giveaways all day. Second Amendment Sports, safety, recreation, protection.
8:36. Let's get an update on the roads. AM 560 traffic center time. Here's Jim Talamonte.
Thanks, Mike. On the inbound Edens, it's just 20 minutes Lake Hook to Montrose, but outbound 31 with scattered delays out to Willow. Kennedy, 54 minutes. O'Hare to downtown, 33 from Montrose, 24 in the Express. Outbound 26 minutes to Montrose, 47 to the airport. Eisenhower's an hour and 6 minutes. Thorndale to the post office, 44 minutes from Manheim. Outbound 46 to Thorndale. Stevenson, 56 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 43. Orion, 25 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 32 minutes, I-80 to the merge, Mission Ford, 35. Tri-State southbound heavy O'Plain to Atkinson. Northbound from 95th to 47th, then from the Reagan Tollway to North Avenue. Eastbound Adams Tollway stop and go. Roselle to 53 and Bussy to the Des Plaines Oasis. Veterans Memorial 75th to the Reagan Tollway. Butterfield to Roosevelt. Army Trail to 290. Traffic answers when you need them most. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560. The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the aircomfort.com Weather Center. Sunny to partly cloudy in your forecast. High near 60 today, low near 40 overnight. 58 tomorrow, 56 on Wednesday. Nicest day of the week comes Thursday with a high of 64. Breezy with a little afternoon rain and even warmer on Friday, 66. And there is a hint of snow in the forecast for next Sunday. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Bruce Wolf sitting in for Dan this morning on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning. Welcome back. Amy
With
Jacobson
talent
here.
on loan from God. Excuse me. When I hear that music, it's like a knee-jerk reaction.
Oh, really, is
Yeah.
it? That is Bruce Wolf, who is sitting in for the one and only Dan Proft, who's just taken a day off. He will be back here tomorrow morning. Now, there's been a lot of talk over the weekend about minorities who have been singled out by Trump supporters. A site called GroupMe. Have you ever heard of GroupMe? Don't grope me. GroupMe.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking. My mind goes there.
GroupMe is a site where people in college campuses have been writing racist slurs, threats. There's photos of lynchings. And one student who was singled out was a woman named Nadia Browning. She's from University of Pennsylvania.
I wasn't surprised by the hate that was coming my way, but it really hurt because in my lifetime, I've never experienced anything like this before.
And another student at Oklahoma, OU, said that this Trump's victory is just a reason for whites to bring against minorities and to trash minorities.
People started to get more confidence, and now they see that someone's in charge that shares the same morals. That is they feel confident with projecting that.
And according to reports, 200 reports of hate-based intimidation is taking place at different universities throughout the country.
How about the mother in Fort Bend County, Fresno, Texas, who posted a video? She berated her son for voting for Trump in a mock election and walked him to the corner with his suitcase. I kid you not about this. Yeah.
The country's on it. And not to mention the beating that happened right here in Chicago in the Lawndale neighborhood. 3 African-American teenagers took out after a white man, and they called him a Trump supporter while they're just helping themselves to items from his car.
I believe vote Trump, damn it. You voted Trump! You voted Trump! Oh, yeah! You voted Trump! She been still I gotta do that shit.
Well,
I was born in the Lawndale neighborhood, by the way.
Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump! Don't vote Trump!
We moved out of there.
This country is sickly divided right now. And that man who was dragged then, because then after taking items from his car, then they just took his car. He had to go to Mount Sinai Hospital. He's been treated and released, and turns out he did vote for Donald Trump. But that's no reason to beat somebody up. I mean, people have got
wait a minute.
to
This
calm
is the one
down.
This is the one where they didn't really know who he
Right,
voted
they didn't
for.
know, but then when reporters got involved, they found out, he voted
But
for Donald
that's not
Trump.
why he was beaten.
No, he was beaten because, I don't know, maybe because of the color of skin, maybe because he had items
What's
in his
he
car.
doing in
people wanted.
Lawndale?
Oh, my gosh, Bruce.
I mean, come on. We moved out of there in 1958.
So I still have to go to Inglewood. I was in Inglewood 2 Sundays ago.
Why?
So what? Because I'm
Whole
an
Foods?
American citizen. I'm not going to be stopped by some thugs.
Don't you have a Whole Foods up in where you live?
Oh, my gosh. All right. Hello. What a good friend, a voice of reason joining us now. Guy Benson is here, political editor for townhall.com, a brother in sound for Salem Radio. Good morning, Guy.
Northwestern
How are you?
graduate.
Good morning.
Hi. How are you?
Hey, Trump won! Yay!
So
Yay,
what do you think about all this? I mean, when is America going to come together? Is that we've had constant protests? I'm comparing the anti-Trumpers to the Occupy Wall Street group. Do you see this ending anytime soon?
I mean, I hope so. I hope that people will sort of come to grips with the fact that we've had an election. The election was fair. The election was free and open, and Donald Trump won. And look, I understand when things don't go your way and you feel very strongly about an election and a candidate, people need some sort of a valve to sort of blow off some steam, which is fine if you are engaged in peaceful protest. But if you're involved with beating or smashing cars and destroying property, obviously that's a crime. Not okay. I'm hoping that people will sort of take a breath here coming up soon. The holidays are approaching.
Yeah,
it might flare up again around the inauguration, but I hope that we're not in a perpetual state of protest, for the next 4 years. That's just exhausting.
So Steve Bannon named the chief strategist. Now, we had Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com on a little bit earlier, and he tried to smooth it over a little bit, thinking that Bannon isn't really going to have all that much power, that Reince is going to have more power as the chief of staff. He controls access to, and I think Ivanka is really running the whole show, if you ask me. But, what's your take on Bannon?
Well, look, I actually read Ed's column this morning as well, and I would just echo what he had to say about Reince Priebus. I've gotten to know Reince a little bit over the last few years here in D.C., and he's someone who, whether you love him or hate him or agree with him or what have you, he knows all the key players very well. He's managed to sort of walk this tightrope of being very loyal to the Republican nominee, which was his job during the Republican primaries, and sort of neutral during the primaries, and then totally loyal to Trump after he won the nomination. But he also has excellent working relationships with some more of the Trump skeptical crowd. He understands how a functioning political party ought to work. So I think that having him as chief of staff at the White House, given his relationship, particularly with Paul Ryan, I think is a positive sign for, a pretty conservative agenda under President Trump, hopefully. In terms of Steve Bannon, look, I don't know him. I know some folks who used to work for him over at Breitbart.
Yeah.
There's been quite an exodus from Breitbart World from a lot of the original folks when Andrew was still alive. And, if you talk to Ben Shapiro or any number of these folks, Dana Lash, they do not have great things to say about Steve Bannon in terms of his temperament and his personality and his character. I know that there are some concerns about things that have emerged about Bannon from police reports and accusations from his ex-wife and that sort of thing. And he did say that Breitbart, the enterprise that he has run, more recently has been directly catering to the alternative right or the alt-right, which is something that I am not a fan of and reject. So in terms of the balance of power, to your question, how influential is Steve Bannon going to be compared to a Reince Priebus or other significant players who have Trump's ear, including his daughter? I'm taking a wait-and-see attitude on that. I think it's too early to reach that conclusion. I understand why Bannon was rewarded with a significant leadership position within the White House, given his role. So has Kellyanne Conway. But he is not someone that inspires great confidence in me about the party moving in the direction that I'd like to see. But again, let's hold off and see what happens.
All right, now Trump is walking back some of the promises he made on the campaign trail when it comes to Obamacare, building a wall. Now parts of it will be a fence, maybe, deporting illegals. But when it came to same-sex marriage, and I've been trying to tell my gay friends all along, he is pro same-sex marriage, so he's not going to touch that, correct?
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't believe that Donald Trump cares at all about gay marriage. I mean, he said he was against it because that's what you do, I think, in a Republican primary. And, maybe on some level he has an issue with gay marriage, although I really don't believe he does.
He said last night on 60 Minutes that he's not going to touch it, that issue has already been settled.
Right. He said, yeah, the court decided it, and he's fine with that, is what he said. So I'm hopeful that his conversion to being pro-life is more meaningful than his words on gay marriage. I happen to be for gay marriage, so the fact
I am too.
The fact that he doesn't really care that's sort of one of the things that I never would fault him for. In the whole list of issues that I had and people had with Donald Trump, the fact he had the first openly gay speaker in primetime at a Republican National Convention, and Peter Thiel, who, by the way, is on his transition team, for the White House. He spoke and he acknowledged that he was gay on stage and talked about that a little bit about his bio, and he was applauded, by the way, for all of this sort of gargoyle vision of what the Republicans are. We had an openly gay guy who said that he was proud to be gay and Republican in America, and he got a standing ovation at the Republican National Convention. So I think that Trump is harmless on those issues. I guess, people could argue that he put in Supreme Court justices who might reverse a Obergefell or something like that. I really don't think remotely that'll be on the priority radar screen for Donald Trump.
All right. Thanks so much, Guy Benson. As always, a pleasure to speak with you. And sorry about your Northwestern Wildcats.
Why? We won.
Oh, I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah, but it's not going to the Rose Bowl.
The whole season, you're not going to the Rose Bowl or any bowl. Did you see my Hawkeyes, by the way?
You guys had a nice win over Michigan. That's a big upset.
Thank you. All right, Guy Benson, we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right, take care.
And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Coming up, Hollywood celebrities who are going to not be leaving after all, boo. And SNL nails it. That election night watch party was spectacular. But first, here's your forecast.
It's not like Northwestern beat Michigan, so, it's not like it counted. Today, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy, a high of 60 tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 40 tomorrow, intervals of clouds and sunshine, a high of 58, low tomorrow night, 40. Now for a check of traffic, here's Jim Telemonte.
Thank you, Bruce. So the northbound tri-state, it's stop and go Archer to 31st and from the Reagan Tollway to Irving Park after a crash. Eastbound Adams Tollway, very slow going. Arlington Heights Road to the Des Plaines Oasis. Reagan Tollway, a little tight from York to tri-state. Veterans Memorial is still seeing delays from around 63rd to the Reagan Tollway and Army Trail to 290. The Aiden's 21 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose outbound 24. The Kennedy 54 minutes, O'Hare to downtown outbound 47. The Ike an hour and 6 minutes, Thorndale to the post office outbound 46 minutes. Stevenson 58 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive outbound 43. The Ryan 25 minutes, 95 to downtown. I'm Jim Talamonte in the AM 560 Traffic Center.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity. Good governance requires a framework rooted in first principles. President-elect Trump must set forth his. Chief among them should be to make the 10th Amendment great again, to both counter allegations of authoritarian impulses and unleash the populace's creative energies lying fallow. Trump should reestablish American federalism and devolve power away from the federal government. End the federal government's perverse inducements to the states to expand Medicaid under Obamacare. Block grant Department of Education funding to the states to be used specifically to fund scholarships that give poor kids a chance to go to better schools. Roll back the administrative states' duplicative agencies and redundant regulations. Decouple disaster preparedness funds from adherence to climate change junk science. Consolidate the Byzantine grants and aid mechanism, which provides myriad ways for the federal government to micromanage states and localities. I suspect the nation's 33 Republican governors, and perhaps even some of the Democrats, would welcome greater sovereignty over their affairs. If Trump governs as a neo-federalist, he will make America great again by, in the immortal words of Scott Baio, making America America again.
My name is David Hochberg, Vice President of Lending at Pearl Mortgage. If you're looking to purchase a new home or refinance your existing home, give me a call. Tammy wanted to contact a realtor before purchasing a home in Buffalo Grove. Bad move. Not getting pre-qualified by me before talking to a realtor is like serving a bacon double cheeseburger to a rabbi. Not kosher. I pre-qualified Tammy to purchase a home and introduced her to Gary Ellis, my preferred Buffalo Grove realtor. If you're purchasing a home, call me first. I'll pre-qualify you for free and introduce you to my experienced team of preferred realtors who will help you locate the perfect home. My team of real estate experts will always look out for your financial best interest. If you're buying a home, give me a call now at 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. I've helped thousands of AM 560 listeners, but I can't help if you don't call 312-751-1333 or visit am560david.com. Pearl Mortgage and Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage License D4358, RMLA, NMLS 19186.
When you have sleep apnea, traveling can be a real drag because you have to drag your big, bulky home CPAP device with you everywhere you go. But not anymore. Now you can travel easily and sleep comfortably anywhere thanks to Transcend, the world's very first mini CPAP. And right now, if you're one of the first 100 callers, you can try Transcend risk-free for 10 restful nights. So call now, 1-800-600-3585. Our smallest and most advanced portable design ever, Transcend is as small as a soda can and weighs less than a pound. You can even add a battery that's as tiny as a deck of cards. Transcend is so incredibly small and light, you can easily fit it in your briefcase or purse to use anywhere you go. It's FAA compliant too, so you can even sleep comfortably while flying. But don't delay. To guarantee your 10-night in-home trial, you must be one of the first 100 callers to call minicpap.com now. 1-800-600-3585. Again, that's 1-800-600-3585.
AM 560, The Answer.
Beat it. Jake Arrieta last week tweeted out, "Oh, it's time for the Hollywood celebrities to move out. Hashtag I'll help you pack. Hashtag beat it."
I can't believe that he did that.
Why?
Because
it's great.
the sports radio guys, if you want to hear left-wing radio,
yeah,
listen to sports radio.
Well, what did they say? Did they
I didn't
him?
list them, but they've got to be beside themselves because here they are cheering on Jake Arrieta because he gave the Cubs Cubs the first world championship.
Before Donald Trump's stunning election, dozens of celebrities came forward. We had Chelsea Handler, Whoopi Goldberg, Amy Schumer. Now they're not so sure that they want to leave. Chelsea on Netflix, she said on her show that she'll remain in the U.S. She said it with tears in her eyes. And Whoopi Goldberg said she was incorrectly lumped into that category with other celebrities who had claimed that they would leave if Trump was elected. And Amy Schumer said it was just a joke. She was saying it in jest. She was in London and she was just trying to stir up the crowd and said that she's going to be staying here. Also staying here, Cher, Bryan Cranston, Leanne Dunham, Sienna Miller, and Samuel L. Jackson.
Now, Bryan Cranston I'm a little ambivalent about because I love his work. He played the dentist who converted to Judaism in Seinfeld. Give me a shtickle of fluoride or whatever that was. And also, he was Breaking Bad. I mean, it's the best television series ever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd almost vote for whoever Bryan Cranston told me to vote for. But I'm short of that. Now, Barbra Streisand's still upset, and the People magazine readers are still upset about that, which would lead me into a Barbra Streisand rendition of Together Now. People who read people are the shallowest people. Okay.
Okay, good. Dave Chappelle on Saturday Night Live, he said he's going to give Donald Trump a chance. By the way, I love Dave Chappelle. It was so good to see him back.
The whites are furious. We've never seen anything like it. I haven't seen white people this mad since the O.J. verdict. It was a split screen with white people on both sides. I'm not saying I'm enjoying it. I'm just saying I've never seen this before. I watched a white riot in Portland, Oregon on television the other night. News said they did $1 million worth of damage. Every black person was watching that like amateurs.
I did some affirmative action, soft bigotry of low expectations, laughing at that monologue. What I really like, though, is Dave Chappelle. At one of the last sketches, he is breastfed by Leslie Jones. Now, that was funny. That, to me, is comedy.
There's only one radio show in Chicago talking about today's biggest stories and telling you what they really mean. That show is this one, Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
Here's microbiologist Dr. Kim O'Neill talking about balance of nature.
Scientific research has shown that many cancers and lifestyle diseases can be prevented with a diet rich in fruits and vegetables. This prevention comes from the phytochemicals in the plants. They fight against oxidants that damage the cell's DNA, causing mutations that lead to disease. I don't take any supplementation.